champion. Is it possible? Well, landing over in Demon's Debris, it is quite possible indeed.
Yeah, it is. And as we take a look at the rest of the map, there is, of course, a sort of trend in the medallions, right? Of course, we know there's a few medallions on the map. Typically, what we've known as, of course, we have it at the Hive, we have it at Ranger's Ruin as well, and we also have one over here in this sort of area right here at Demon's Debris. Now, this was how things were actually looking at the very beginning, right? Now we've seen a big change. We've seen a big change to where now that medallion and, of course, that queen that spawned at Demon's Debris now has a 50-50 chance at spawning at Dystopia City as well. Some big names landing there. Could we see a little bit of a contest there?
Καλησπέρα, chat, τι κάνουμε? Μαλακία, νόμιζα ότι αρχίζουν πιο μετά, ρε μαλάκες. Γι' αυτό έβαλα 6,5.
Of them thinking they were going to ego some players out, but if you've been watching some of the off-spawn fights recently, I don't know if that's going to be the case. However, if there's anything you can expect from Peterbot Cold and Ritual is that they're unpredictable.
Exactly. Remember those queens that these guys are fighting over, of course, in this sort of area up there as well. The teams that are actually going for these,
Τι κάνουμε, μαγκές? Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Μαλακές, δεν τα βάλαν λίγο νωρίς. Ήδη και το προηγούμενο Global ήταν έτσι. Πού είσαι, Μαρία? Τσίλι άνοιξε, έχω ανοίξει, boys!
Will we see maybe Peterbot Cold Ritual do what they did in Major number 3 and go on down there?
There is so much that can possibly happen, Mini Minor, but obviously only time will tell, and I know that I am ready to get into the games, and I bet the desk is as well.
Απλά χαμηλά τα mics, νομίζω.
And Kelly, we'll see more of them in a little bit, but we need to deep dive onto more of what they're kind of talking about. Obviously,
Πού σε ψάχνεις? Κουστούμι αύριο, boys. Τσατάρα μου, θέλω σήμερα να κάνετε όλοι like, έτσι. Μην το ξεχνάτε, αυτό είναι πολύ σημαντικό. Προμοτάρει το στριμάκι. Είμαστε 130 άτομα, θέλω να κάνουμε 130 likes. Πολύ σημαντικά τα likes, μάγκες, και είναι δωρεάν. Πώς λένε στο kick, Chili's λέγομαι, bro. Chili's SB. Chili's SB.
As a EU fan, seeing two top teams contesting each other, it hurts me a little bit. It does. Yeah. And seeing two teams who again have shown a propensity to.
Τσιλάτε ρε μπανλάκι, bro. Αν και να σου πω την αλήθεια, εγώ θα ήμουνα σε VIP lounge. Φάση απλά θα έκανα live stream IRL και θα σας έδειχνα την κάμερα του τέτοιου, της οθόνης. Ο Fax, ότι αν δείτε, είναι από το σπίτι του στη Γαλλία και βλέπει. Κατάλαβες. Ο μόνος που έχει streaming PC εκεί πέρα είναι ο Oceanix. Καταλάβες. Κανείς άλλος δεν έχει από την Epic. Οπότε δεν ξέρω κατά πόσο W θα ήταν. Ποιο W θα ήταν το vlog που θα βγάζαμε. Low key.
Winning off spawn in those div cups. Only 5 out of the 11 times that they actually ended up fighting, they had 3 players alive. So it's
Prediction ποιος θα το πάρει.
chance that one of your teams
Τα Ancon teams, μαγκές. Τα Ancon teams.
And I feel like that could stall, or definitely will stall their early game.
It
will also be like this beacon for other teams around the area to kind of come and be like, well, maybe we should go third party this.
It's possible.
Interesting. So obviously, I like you guys are kind of.
Ο Pete είναι con, μαλάκα, ναι.
Obviously, this is a global championship stage.
Ο Peter Bot είναι contested.
Kind of takes things to.
Και είμαστε λίγο cooked με αυτό το πράγμα γενικά. Αλλά Ancon νομίζω είναι. Κάτσα πάω να δω, περιμένετε.
Look, when you look at both teams have two what you call maybe star fragging players, right? You look at Haris along the Balkan side, you look at Chino, right? The young Dane who's come in and you know he's a top fighter. Both of those players haven't played on a stage like this, right? They don't have the experience. Coming into a land like this, having the expectation that you're going to come through.
Fuck, δεν μπορώ το βρω.
Pressure to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell you from personal experience and kind of showing up to in-person events like this, it took me, I think, like 3 times of doing it before I felt like I had no nerves going into one. So that's why we always talk about experience, right? It really does matter.
Είναι triple con. Low key, δεν ξέρω τι θα κάνουν. Πρέπει να έχει μαγειρέψει κάτι ο Ρατζερού, αλλιώς δεν ξέρω.
Hello guys, yes we are, because we've got to talk
Jason
about
Ferdoxi.
Ranger's Ruin and this epic Osborne battle that's about to happen. In the last Divisional Cup, you actually came out on top for Redoxo. Not really like the first Divisional Cup, where you kept losing, so what did you change to start winning?
No, we just used some time on Osborne prac and became more confident.
Do you think that Tayson hasn't been practicing?
I've seen them practice a lot here. Yeah.
It's just a skill difference.
Yes.
En gros, les deux équipes ont un niveau de jeu différent. Ils se sont tous les deux entraînés très longtemps sur ce spawn, mais FredXC pense que c'est eux qui ont l'avantage, évidemment. Tyson, you land at Rangers Ruin against Fredoxy's trio. Who's gonna win this contest and why?
Τι στην πουτσα,
I
bro.
think we're gonna win. I just think we're better Ospan team and individually.
Ποιος ο Λαζερού? Ο Λαζερού είναι coach, σαν το βά.
Il est meilleur et même individuellement, il a pas peur, il sent en confiance. C'est le trio de Tyson, visiblement, qui est favori.
My jaw has hit the floor because if you look at the statistics going back to
Ο Λαζερού είναι ο coach του Peterbot.
you were one of the highest damage
Φαντάσου.
dealers in
Κάτι ήξερε ο
the
Καριόλης.
lobby. Do you think he's just a bit scared of you?
I mean, we'll see on stage. We'll see on stage.
But this is your first time on stage.
Α, ναι, ο Τσόνις μου στείλε μήνυμα, bro, νομίζω. Κάτσε να το απαντήσω κιόλας.
No, not about our spawn. We're confident.
But not confident about the rest of the game, just off spawn?
I mean, we'll freestyle. We'll see what we do.
To be fair, if anyone can freestyle, it's Fredoxy.
Ouais, elle a bien fait de le souligner, c'est la première fois que le trio de Fredoxy monte sur scène, c'est son premier gros event, mais il est quand même en confiance, il a pas peur de la pression, il va boire la pression comme on dit.
Εν τω μεταξύ εκεί πέρα γίνεται τις πουτάνες με τους Γάλλους,
It's the Europe record. Do you think this experience can be an advantage for you and your trio during the games?
I think so, yeah, but I don't really think we have a chance to win this time. Just being contested, but I'll just give it to other players this time.
Il pense qu'il peut encore le faire, il peut aller chercher une 6e victoire, mais il a
Έχει πέσει ο Tyson, bro. What the fuck, τι λέει?
Ça promet, ça va être un très très beau contest.
He said he's going to give the victory to other players. Is he going to give it to you, Fredoxy?
I mean, when you're contested, I think it's like you need a 10-2, 11-1 to win. When you have like so many teams trading Surge, being like consistent. So yeah, I understand him.
One more question for you. Is there anything you would like to say to Tyson on the record before you land at Rangers Ruin?
Just good luck. Good luck.
And Tyson?
Same.
Good luck, guys. Thank you, man.
Ending on such a lovely, sweet note here backstage, but I imagine it's not going to be quite so sweet once we board the battle bus, Zeke.
You know, they're trying to
Zero beef, zero content. Φέρτε το Peterbot.
I can definitely tell there's a bit of a different atmosphere, right? That once again, this crowd is probably the best crowd.
Για αυτό το EU δεν έχει content, ρε. Δεν υπάρχει έχθρα.
People with coming in with experience. The moment M8 starts going crazy, kind of changes things.
Hey, listen, I feel like we've got a lot of experience up here on the desk at this point, and it's definitely taken. It's going to take a little bit of time for us.
Δες εδώ, μαλάκα, τι γίνεται.
100%. It's funny though. I feel like both players are almost just like completely focused on the off spawn, and it's just like the rest of the game after that.
Μαλάκα, όντως το e-sport στη Γαλλία είναι όντως e-sport, αδερφέ. Δες τι έχουν κάνει, το έχουν γεμίσει στο στάδιο στη Γαλλία, bro.
I like that. I like that. Let's keep this conversation going. There's more contestations happening. Let's take it on over to Vico versus Koyota. This is an interesting one.
Ακραίο, μαλάκα.
Kicked off with some social media exchanges, and now here we are at a global stage contesting each other.
Άρα Αμερική kinda lame.
We should be doing this, but it's happening.
I mean, yeah, look how incredible of a year both of these trios had. I mean, first, sixth, and second for Vico's trio there. Koyota also putting on an incredible year, especially that Major 3 performance. And this hurts me so much, because if you take a look at global championships on a greater scale, right, go all the way back to 2022, you count in 23, 24, and everything like that, there's only been 3 instances of a smaller region team actually placing in the top 10. So much so, actually, that last year at Globals, there were none in the top 10. So to see such a good team like Koyota's trio have to go up against such a titan of a trio off spawn, it hurts.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it was just last year when Koyota really
Ρε, ποιος είναι uncontested γάμο την πουτάνα μου, περιμένω το.
being a top Fortnite player. Like you say, it hurts to see him having to go off spawn against such a veteran, experienced team. We talk about the way off spawns can go all day long. Ultimately speaking, Vico Venoflixi will just have had infinitely better off-spawn practice than what Koyota Rising.
Maz uncontested, Swiss uncontested, Peterbot triple con.
EU and NA teams all the time.
Ο Pixie και ο Μάριος πολύ καλά μπορεί να πάνε. Ο Κανάδα θα πάει πολύ καλά λογικά. Ο Πόγιο και ο Agers. Αυτοί δεν ξέρω. Μπορεί. Ο Pix, ο Ντάρμ και ο Ντέμους. Δεν ξέρω, μαλάκες, το triple con είναι πολύ βαρύ.
one foot, but me not so much, because this feels like an extreme 50-50. Like, is that going to
Και
be
ο Τσάπ με το Mr. Σάπα και το Horizon έχουν αγκώνα.
See, the one thing I'd say maybe that goes against Vico
Okay.
and Flixie is that, you know, in the case especially of, you know, Veno and Vico, very emotional players, right?
Ο Μαλιμπούκα δεν μπορεί να νικήσει εδώ πέρα, bro.
You know, they're going in super confident. If those first couple games don't go their
Εδώ
way,
πέρα ο Μαλιμπούκα σε
trouble
αυτό το σποτ δεν μπορεί να
See how
νικήσει.
these guys start. And whether
Πολύ
or not
δύσκολα.
The Asian team, Coyotes trio, decide to even want to stay there, right? You know, initially they weren't even going to be landing at this spot. We thought maybe they were going to be landing further up north, contesting Mr. Savage's trio. So there's a good chance these guys maybe.
Οι άλλοι θα βγάζουν και καπνογόνα, μαλάκα.
You know what, guys? We'll take a step back, you know, you're good. But who knows really at this point?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of, you know, further elaborate on what we kind of...
Μαλάκα!
Saying, hey, look, I put a lot of practice
Αυτό είναι ωραίο, bro.
things he kind of kept going, you know, talking about in the practice, putting in. We're all
Αυτό είναι ωραίο, bro.
really have thought this through. I
Ναι,
almost
σαν το
wonder, though,
παγκόσμιο.
right, like, this is a show day. You could put a lot of practice on, but when you show up on the day, anything can happen. So I almost wonder if things were to go not in Vico's favor, what happens? You talk about being an emotional player. Maybe they continue to get rocked off spawn. Maybe we have to come back for day 2. I don't know.
I mean, even like talking to the coach of Coyotes trio, right? I was kind of like, hey, listen, like, what's the game plan for all 12 games? Of course, you know, we know they're going to start landing there, but if things start to go bad, and you know,
Λούκι, σε ευχαριστούμε για το μεμπεράκι, αδερφάκο. God bless.
be disrespected, and I think they're going to take it to them all 12 games.
Και έχουν και καλά sponsors αυτή τη φορά η Epic Games, bro. Έχει Zoe, Volvic.
We
Respect.
I can't wait for this
Oh.
Canyon Crossing clash. Coyota, what was your coach Sven's reaction when you said you wanted to now land at Canyon Crossing?
スペンコーチにカニョンに降下すると教えたらどのようなリアクションをしましたか？
まあ自分たちのなんか自分たちの判断に任せるように後悔のないように自分たちの判断に任せるっていうことを言われました。
So he just said here he's gonna leave the decision to us, like he's gonna just, you know, let us do whatever we think it's the best for us.
And Sven has taught you a lot because 8 victory royales in Major 3 in Asia. What is the thing that he has taught you that has strengthened your game?
スペンコーチはたくさんのことを教えたと思うんですね。スペンコーチになってから大会で
Φόρτα βλέπουμε ποδόσφαιρο, μαλάκα είναι crazy.
勝利できましたけれども、特にどんなことを教えましたか？
Top 3 prediction. Περιμένετε.
なんか立ち回りの安定感とか、まあコミュニケーションの部分もそうですし、なんかそういうことも教えられて、なんかより安定したかなって前より思います。
So he taught us how to move more safely, how to behave more safely in the game, but also a lot about communication inside the team. So that's, I think, those are the 2 most important things he taught us.
Vico, what do you think about this contest versus Coyotes trio? Honestly, did you expect it or not at all?
I mean, we knew the whole season we were going to be contested. The first cup where they landed, like Canyon Crossing, we already knew we were going to be conned. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about it. They can do whatever they want, right? It's a game. So if they decide to land on us, then I'll just teach them not to do it again.
Νάτος ο Βίκο. Νάτος ο Βίκο. I'll teach them not to do it again. Άιντε μαλάκα.
Ils seront très bien reçus.
With the aggression that you brought to the Asian region, do you think you can replicate that here at the Global Championships?
なんかアジア地域で本当にアグレッシブなスタイルを見せたんですけれども、この世界大会でも同じスタイルができると思いますか？
まあできるだけ自分たちを信じて、まあ今まで通りやる予定です。
So we want to keep it up. We want to play it like we want to believe in ourselves and just keep up doing what we've been doing so far.
But if you do start to lose off spawn against Vico's trio, would you consider moving to a different area of the map?
なんか序盤でビコ選手たちとまあ何回も
Τσατάρα όλοι like, έχουμε κάνει.
ところに移動する予定がありますか？
ない。
No, I don't think I have to translate that.
Vico, last year you finished 4th at the 2024 Globals. What's the objective? What's the plan for this 2025 edition? Maybe top 5, top 4, maybe more?
I mean, the plan was to get first to win this. But now that we're conned, I think we can still top 3. You know, if we do good, we prepared a lot for this. So I think we can still top 3, maybe and win if we do.
Volvic Juicer.
Pour faire simple, ils se sont préparés au mieux, évidemment.
Πόσα games είναι σήμερα? Είναι 6 σήμερα, 6 αύριο.
En tout cas, ils visent au minimum le top 3. On aura des clients très très sérieux dans cette finale.
Finally, Coyota, is there anything you would like to say to Vico?
ビコ選手に向け何かメッセージ一言がありますか？
Good luck.
Good luck.
And you, have you got a word for Coyote?
Good luck. Hope you prepared well.
C'est que de l'amour pour l'instant. Rendez-vous maintenant sur la.
Bonne chance. À la deux.
Man, Vico just trying to farm that aura, and he is successful. But also, I gotta say, I love Koyota. He just seems so wholesome and so. And I love to, hey, you know, would you leave? Nah. I love to see that.
Volvic water του κου, όντως. Το Volvic πες να είναι το καλύτερο νερό που έχω πιει.
So crazy. And again, there's just like one of the many things happening across the map, but like hearing them now, dude, I'm super excited for it.
Like, I'm excited, Zeke, but at the same time, my heart's broken a bit, man. Because, you know, all three of us, we always get called out for our biases, right? They always say I'm EU biased. They always say you guys are NA biased. And I try to show some of the other regions love. And when I look at some of the other regions, Koyota, Horizon, Yuma are a team from Asia that I really want to be able to champion these guys and be like, look, these guys can hang with the best of the best. But if they're competing all 12 games off spawn against one of the best EU teams in the world, they leave me no choice but to sit here and just have to look the other way, man. I mean, it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. I wish we could see both these teams uncontested, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love that point, right? Because a lot of people kind of coin Koyota as like the Asian peanut butter. Sometimes.
Μαλάκα, ή είναι πολύ κοντή αυτή η άλλη δίπλα του, ή ο άλλος είναι 2+ μέτρα. Legit. Κάνα 2-10, ξέρω εγώ. Ο Χριστός, μαλάκα, σαν γορί... σαν... Εννοώ σαν μεγάλος.
But we still feel like we can get top 3. I feel like that is an incredible goal in its own self, right?
No, absolutely. That would be one of the best performances we've seen. Right? You know, it would be mental. And I think the reason why a lot of these guys are like, I'm concerned I'm not going to for the lobby. Right? When you look at some of the other teams in this lobby from some of the other regions, a lot of these guys look at them with so much respect and go, I'm contested 12 out of 12 games.
Δεν το εννοούσα έτσι, το ξέρετε.
It's going to be hard.
Τέλος πάντων. Αλλά ναι, είναι παμψιλός, μαλάκα.
I just love looking at this through the lens of a global championship stage. I agree, though. I don't want to see these guys fight. I want to see both these trios make it to endgame and kind of see, okay, what do they have prepared for us? But now this could go back and forth, you know. I'm scared, I'm excited, but
Ναι, θα έχει και walkout με τους παίχτες, bro, ναι. Εγώ νόμιζα ότι έγινε το walkout, αλλά εντάξει, καλά είμαστε. Το πρόλαβα.
Now, of course, you kind of heard a little bit from us. Why don't we hear a little bit from this crowd? Frankie, Benji, what do you?
Thank you, guys. We do need to test the
Χάτζε, ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, bro. God bless.
Here in Leon, because we've just discussed the epic off-spawn
battles
we're about to witness, and we need to.
How's everybody doing, man? Life's great, brother. I mean, it's going to be a
What the fuck?
Day. It's going to be a very fun day. As you guys know, we are live for the next 24 hours. It's very early here. It's 7:30 in the morning. I don't think we've ever woken up this early for a stream before.
Ακραίο, μαλάκα. Όπα ρε, τι πατάω.
Every single morning I go to the gym at this time. So, unfortunately, I took off the gym today. You know, shout out to Lacey for helping me take out the gym.
Okay.
Certain days I just don't want to work.
I think
Γαμάτο production, bro.
I think too. Vous l'avez vu, il y a eu un deuxième contest. On vous a parlé aussi du trio de Koyota face à celui de Vico. Sacré contest encore entre les deux équipes. Selon vous, dans le public, qui parie sur le trio de Vico?
Leon.
Μαλάκα, μόλις μπουνε οι παίχτες σε mate, φαντάζομαι, bro.
Even.
Pretty even. And I think I might know why, Benji. Because the audience here, really, their support and their love is going to any team with a gentlemate on it. And we
Μαλάκα, είναι γεμάτο,
many teams with one of those gentlemates players on it. And we're going to be introducing them very soon, Benji.
Oh yes.
Respect, μαλάκα, ωραίο.
M8 gentlemen doing this final. This is the public, this is the crowd that you heard since the beginning of the show. This is M8 fan. They're so crazy. Guys, make some noise!
And that's just the Gentlemates fans. Before we go back to the desk, Leon, tout le monde, faites du bruit! Zeke, back to you.
Φάτσα του Νίκοφ.
Listen, Again, this is one of the best crowds we have ever had.
Όχι.
We're not even in game yet. Okay.
Όχι, bro. Είναι το καλύτερο crowd που έχεις μέχρι στιγμής, bro. Τα υπόλοιπα ήταν irrelevant τελείως.
It's going to be
Λες και είμαστε μαλάκα σε match, ξέρω εγώ, ποδοσφαίρου.
As we start to kind of focus back in on the competition, I wanted to highlight something for you guys. 3 of the best players from last year's Globals are finding themselves once again back on this global stage. Peterbot, Poyo, who split up early this year, and Queasy. So we wanted to take some time to kind of highlight where they are all at and how their trios are performing so far. Obviously, we got to start with M8 Poyo.
They're partying. They're partying.
They're already gone. They're like, see,
How they know? They see his name. They see his name. I mean, how can you not? Look, I think a lot of people.
Ωραία μαλάκα, crazy bro, βγάζει ωραία vibes.
Poyo, Acorn, and Aegis as big favorites to win it all.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. When you look at the situation as a whole, right? Uncontested at one of the best POIs in the game right now. When you take a look at their history throughout the year, first, fifth, second, when you take a look at the individual performances from the likes of like Agers, the most eliminations on NA with 40. Playing absolutely out of their minds, and of course Poyo also playing out of his minds. You've got Acorn on your team to lead you with all of those pivotal calls.
Αχ, μάγκες, most likely όμως ο Poyo θα νικήσει, σειρά.
The storyline would just be so perfect, right? Poyo had to deal with a lot of criticism.
Δεν θα τον νικήσει η EU.
What's Poyo without Peterbot? What can he do without Peterbot, right? He came through at the first major of the year in NA, won it without
Τέξει η κάμερά σου.
Can he come to the global
Μια χαρά είναι η κάμερα μου, μαλακές.
win it without Peterbot? Can Acorn solidify himself as the GOAT IGL in Fortnite? He's won so much, he's done it online, but can he do it here on this stage? And of course, Aegis, an FNCS champion in his own right, who has been underrated at times, but he has been a shining star all throughout this year.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Let's move on. Queasy, Swizzy, Murstache. Levin, I'm coming to you. And what's interesting about this trio is obviously the Swizzy factor, right? Finally getting to play together with his actual trio mates.
See, I can't even hear you, Z. I can't even hear you right now. They're way too loud for my guys, Swizzy, Moustache, and Queasy, man. Look.
WEU ρε μέχρι στιγμής, αλήθεια. Όλα τα globals θα γίνονται EU, legit.
Swizzy has dealt with so much adversity in his career. In 2023, he wins Major 3 in EU. He can't play at the Global Championships there due to visa issues. In 2024, he gets the visa sorted. He can play. His teammate Vanya can't make it. He has to play with a Phil and Yako. And even playing with a Phil Vivid, he gets top 10. He won't be choose the eventual champions to win a game in Peter.
Όντως ισχύει αυτό, bro. Σαν το καραντίμινε.
This year, Swizzy finally gets to play with his teammates, and he has 2 of the best players in the lobby to be playing with in Queasy and Moustache. Uncontested, these guys, they might go the whole way, man. I really believe it.
Yeah, I mean, Swizzy and Moustache, 2 of the best fraggers for sure in the game. Levin loves to talk about it. Queasy, he considers him to be the GOAT IGL as it currently stands in Fortnite. Second, 11th, second at global events in the past. The win right there.
So many times.
So close for him. Can he pull it off this year?
This really, you would think this has to be his year, right? He's come so close.
Δεν θα κάνω κανένα καλό announcement. Νομίζω πως ναι, low key.
We saw the breakdown from Kelly.
Πάντα γίνεται ένα announcement στα globals. Λογικά θα κάτι έχουν ετοιμάσει, αλλά αύριο θα γίνει.
So good for them on the map. I think a lot of those things will come to fruition today.
Moderators, κάντε λίγο moderator chat, bro.
I love that. Okay, obviously the
βλέπω μαλακίες.
player of those 3. It's Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. You know, when we kind of came into this, these 3 names is kind of like, hey, any one of these trios could go on.
Όπα ρε! Ου!
Then we kind of throw a wrench to it.
Όπα ρε! Ου!
Triple contested, bro.
Όπα τι γιου χαρισμός αυτός, bro.
The triple contestation. It's a hard hurdle for me as an analyst to kind of jump over and be like, these guys can still do well. And then I look at it, right? Obviously, you have unanimous best player in the world on your trio. But then when you take a step back and you take a look at the individual performances of Cold and Ritual in Major number 3, you're like, now hold up a second. Cold obviously always has like the best damage ratio, always is right there with eliminations, damage dealt. We know he's very, very good. Then Ritual at the start of this year was getting a lot of flack. Like, Ritual, like, what are you doing? You're holding the trio back. What the heck, man? takes the entire year, grinds his mechanics. I'm not even kidding. In Major number 3, he was very, very close in comparison to Peterbot in eliminations. Ritual had 25. Peterbot had 33. So the individual skill level of all three just looks so primed up for global.
Yeah, I mean, it is just mental, right? When you have, you know, 2 players on your team who at any given moment can just be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you have a very, very good chance of doing well in this competition. But like you highlighted, Seed, triple contested here at Dystopia.
Yep.
I mean,
Let's go, let's go. Μου φαίνονται ήδη τα πιο ωραία globals, μαλάκες. Δεν ξέρω τι φάση.
More often than not across the 12 games, but ultimately it's just too chaotic. You've got to think, right? You know, 3 teams landing on POY, it just can't go well.
It's so chaotic, but I can't lie, Levin. I think we're hearing the whispers. I think Social are hearing the whispers.
Έφτιασα το νερό μου, ρε μπασταρδες,
They
κάσε.
have something cooked up. Are they actually going to be landed there?
You've seen it. I mean, people have been suggesting that maybe these guys might cook up some sort of teamy strat where they're landing at a couple different places over the course of the 12 games. If any team could do that and pull it off, it would be them.
Man, this is crazy. You guys have me so unbelievably excited. But it's time. All right, we got to get these players in and ready. So, Leon, give a big warm welcome to your players.
Leon, give it up for Tayson, Chicho, and Atris. They've got plenty of experience, but will it be enough to take them to the top? Let's get it.
Τι είναι αυτό, ρε?
It's Curly, Cooper, and Reed coming out hot of NA. They're now taking their gameplay to the biggest stage of them all. But can they keep
Pre-recorded είναι, ρε.
Give it up for Tisco, Striker, and Canoe. Representing Brazil, they're here to prove their worth against the rest of the world. Let's see what they've got.
Poland's pride picks Tarm and Demas. While being up-and-comers throughout the year, they've certainly proved they can shake up EU lobbies. But can they do it on land too?
It's none other than Victor V, Paper, and Epic Whale. Fan favorites of the NA West region, but also heavy hitters in this competition. It is time to lock it in.
Λες και είναι pre-recorded το walkout. Τι είναι αυτή, ρε? Ποιοι είναι αυτοί, ρε?
A few household names of the NA region. It's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. This weekend, they'll have to come together to face off against the toughest competitor in the world.
Coming in hot, Seti, Yapko, and Panzer. After switching up ahead of Major 3, these guys display instant chemistry making their way to globals. Now the real test starts.
Malor, Mansour, and Adapter have touched down in France. This Middle Eastern trio is not to be underrated, and they'll make sure to leave their mark on
Γιατί
the
κάνει
lobby
phase,
this
ρε?
weekend.
Phase up ο άλλος.
The Wonders from Down Under, Anon, Alex, and Resides. After a dominating year on OCE,
Όπα, ρε.
taking the battle to the main stage.
Σκάτε μάγκες.
These guys mean business.
Far from gentle, it's Puyo, Majors, and Acorn. It's been a big year for these guys, and concluding it with the Globals trophy, that's just the icing on the cake.
Μαλάκα, σκάει πολύ ωραίο μέχρι στιγμής, μάγκες.
I cannot believe that this is going to be your first LAN, Curly, but luckily you have some very experienced players with you. Reet, and of course, a former global champion in Cooper. What has this experience been like so far for you?
I mean, playing with the global championship winner has it's meant a lot to me. I mean, I'm playing with an official winner here. But, it's been a great experience so far. Yeah.
And Cooper, you've chosen to play with these guys. What's so special about this team?
I think Curly has a lot of
Όπα, ρε.
potential. I think what Mero saw in me, I see in him. So I think he's going to be great in the future. You know,
Έχει
great
bets.
prospect. I think he's going to be really good.
Τι λες, ρε μαλάκα?
About your chances of taking back the crown.
What the
It's not
fuck?
looking great in terms of how unpredictable,
Έχει να
but
πετάρει στο
it's
Fortnite,
big.
μαλάκα, θα γίνει όντως viral το game.
So we'll see how it turns out.
Quickly, very quickly, Reet, we've got to have some more positive words about winning.
Oh yeah, I mean we're gonna win. I'm excited. I'm excited to go out here and play and do our best. You know, give it a shot.
Bien sûr, let's head to Benji.
Et oui, Frankie, je suis avec un nouveau trio. Les amis, Lyon, s'il vous plaît, du bruit pour Bolts, Rapid and Canada!
Μάγκες, να ξέρετε, αν το game πάει σε τέτοιο level έτσι ώστε να μπει και σε στοίχημα, το competitive τουλάχιστον, θα γίνει όντως viral, bro. Θα γίνει όντως viral, bro.
Thank you, Canada. You have this experience from big stadium, big stage, like.
Έχουμε κανένα στημένο. Τι στημένο, μαλάκα, εδώ πέρα γίνονται όλα, bro. Μπορεί να νικήσει και ο τελευταίος.
You can handle the pressure.
Pressure's all I need. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to win. Let's go, baby!
So nice from Canada! And now, back to you, Frank.
Κανάδα τρελάκιας, ρε.
I had to find Aegis Acorn. You've been to many of these Fortnite global lands, but how does this one compare so far?
This is like nothing I've ever seen. This is a crazy.
Όμιτζι, Σαντοβά, please.
And how do you keep your focus in game leading these guys when the crowd is so loud?
We're locked in. We're ready to win, and we're gonna bring it home for M8.
And you're going to bring it home for America potentially. Poyo, you could do the back-to-back here in France in front of so many fans. What would that mean?
It mean a lot. I mean, I can barely even hear you right now, so yeah.
Do you have anything to say to the fans?
Thank you for being here. It's important.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me. Good luck today, guys. We need to meet some more teams.
Μαλάκα, τρέλα, τρέλα, τρέλα. Το στάδιο είναι τρέλα, bro.
It's your boys, King, Phaser, and PH Sin. After tearing up both Brazilian and NA lobbies throughout the year, they're here to wrap up the competition in style.
Σκάει μάγκας ο Βραζιλιάνος, ωραίος.
Vortex, Mountain, and Goofy. Making it to Lyon was no easy feat, but these guys are coming in with lots of motivation to win it all.
Put your hands together for Pars, Pump, and Baka. NA West did not stand a chance against these guys this year. The question is if they can keep the same pressure in this lobby.
Better late than never. iJob, Cammy, and Hottie have made it to France. And with globals on the line, there's no...
Εν τω μεταξύ κάνουνε ου επειδή είναι Havoc και είναι αντίπαλοι με την M8. W. Έχουνε έχτρα.
Tougher. It's time to lock in, boys.
Make some noise for Clicks, Higgs, and Ianzo. Going home empty-handed just isn't an option. And with the trophy directly in sight, these guys are bringing their A game.
Get loud for Murum, Wixie, and Buyuriru. Qualifying for Major 3 was just the start. With their eyes on the prize, they look to take the trophy home.
Mix and focus and Upwell in the building, everybody. And this trio's talent has brought them so far already. But it's time to go the distance. Let's see what they got.
Walking in now, Art School and Salco, all the way from NA West with a major win. They're looking to bring the domination all the way to the global stage.
Give it up for Yuma, Koyota, and Rize. After dominating Asia this year, now they're ready to prove that they've got what it takes to win it all at the international level.
Ladies and gentlemen, Furious, Vanya, and Pixie with a strong home crowd behind them today. These guys are destined
Ωραία, Βανιάκ. Ωραία, Βανιάκ. Μάγκες, πόγιο πιστεύω.
So, obviously, I had to come and keep the seat warm for Vanya Boo Boo because I know there are a lot of fans here in France who cannot wait to
Αλλά ποιος θα
meet
θες
this
εσύ,
team.
λοιπόν, ποιος πιστεύω πως θα νικήσει ο Πόγιο, ποιος θέλω να το πάρει Peterboard. Δεν χρειάζεται να πω κάτι άλλο, boys. Μακάρι.
You've been to many of these global lands. How great is it to know you have Havoc fans waiting to see you play?
It's amazing.
Θέλω να δω.
And I know that you're going to put on a show for them. Let's come over here then Marius, I know that Germany loves you, but now France loves you too. What's that like?
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing. It's such a good feeling.
I can imagine. And Vanya, they call you Vanya Boo Boo. You spent a lot of time with the fans. What would you like to say to them here in France? Sometimes actions speak louder than words, which is why I'm gonna say, let's head to you, Benji.
Et merci.
Δεν μίλησε καν ο Βανιάκ.
Avec un nouveau trio, ils viennent encore des États-Unis. S'il vous plaît, du bruit pour Higgs, Helmzo and Clix.
Ου στον Clix, έλα ρε μαλάκες.
Wow. Clix, how do you feel, man?
I feel great. This is going to be the one. I'm bringing it home.
Il le dit, il vient pour gagner. Il est chaud, l'atmosphère lui fait pas peur. Il vient pour gagner. C'est top 1 ou rien pour Clix. Clix, we know that you land at Supernova, and I heard that Fredoxy helped to train you for the spawn. Tell me more about this story.
Yeah, he helped me train. Anybody who lands Supernova, you'll see what happens.
Pour faire simple, en fait, le trio de Clix spawn, atterrit dans la ville de Supernova, et il y a un ami à lui, Fredoxy, qui l'a pendant des semaines entraîné gentiment parce qu'ils sont amis, et c'est grâce en partie à Fredoxy qu'aujourd'hui Clix se sent à l'aise, et c'est pour ça qu'il spawn à Supernova. Last question, what's the objective? Only top one or nothing?
It's top 1 or nothing, and I gotta make sure this crowd is repping the set. XF forever.
Du bruit, s'il vous plaît, pour Higgs, Helmzo and Clix!
Τον Κλιξάκο ρε γαμάει ο τύπος.
Had to grab King from the Brazilian region, also representing Argentina here in Lyon today. I've got Ricardo to translate. King, you're so experienced on LAN that you won in Brazil and then went to North America because you're taking this so seriously. What did you learn from playing in a different region?
So, você foi para os Estados Unidos para melhorar. Por quê? O que você conseguiu tirar dessa viagem?
Ok. A gente foi para a NA porque é uma região muito diferente, muito melhor que a Brasil. Então fomos lá treinar para conseguir dar o máximo.
So they went to North America that has a better quality. So they were able to have better practice and they show up today the best they can do.
And you and Fazer are an experienced
Ποιος είναι αυτός, ο King?
Of course, you're playing as a trio.
Ο Αργεντίνος είναι, αλλά έχει νικήσει όλα τα Βραζίλ.
What's your favorite way to play this game?
Para mim, eu prefiro pouco mais duo, mas eu acho que o meu melhor nível é no trio.
So they like to play duo better, but they think that their trio is very strong.
I think you're going to be very strong. Thank you so much for talking to me. Obrigada, guys. Leon, please make some noise if you want to meet some more players. Vector Ring!
Τι λένε ρε? Θέλω να ακούσω τι θα πούνε στον Peterpot, μαλάκες. By the way, chat, 500 άτομα, ούτε καν 200. Μαλάκες είναι αυτά τα likes, bro. Πατήστε όλοι like αυτή τη στιγμή, boys. Οκ. 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 Άρα αυτή είναι σε ομάδα ή όχι? Δεν είναι σε ομάδα αυτή, Μαλιμπούκα. Οκ, Μαλιμπούκα. Οκ, Μαλιμπούκα. Οκ, οκ.
Never count out at me because Snowy, Ryu, and Zod are here and these guys mean business. Plenty of motivation, but now it's time to showcase that the Middle East is all about.
Domination is key for Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. A stellar year trio with all eyes on the trophy.
Έτσι goat μου. Έτσι goat μου. Έτσι goat μου. Αλλά τους καβλαντάει, bro. Nice. Γουστάρω, ρε φίλε. My goat. Κάλμα.
Crushing the competition this year and making it this far comes with expectations. Let's see if they can deliver.
Bienvenue à Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache! After a year of causing chaos in lobbies on EU, now they're ready to bring the heat to Lyon on the global stage. It's showtime!
Got players from two French teams here in Lyon. First of all, from Havoc, we have Wax. I can definitely hear the Havoc fans over here. Thank you, Wax. And over here, representing the Gentle Mates, we have Ping and Malibuka.
Ακραίο, μαλάκα. Όντως είναι άρρωστο να έχεις τέτοιους fans, bro. Yeah, mate.
But do you have any words for them?
Guys, keep supporting us. Someone from Gentle Mates will win.
Is that what you think?
Ευχαριστούμε, Φλίξου, για το αντίπαλο.
Will they win today? I think the crowd are on your side today. One more question, though. Do you think that Europe can face off and take this trophy home?
Yeah, 100%. Europe is taking this trophy.
Let's head to my favorite European, Benji.
Et je suis avec un nouveau trio et pas n'importe lequel. Regardez, messieurs, dames, avec moi du bruit pour Reason, Champ and Mr. Savage! Savage, hi. I remember that you got your call at the last major, at the last game, at the last moment, and now you're here on the stage. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm excited to be here. Bonjour, Lyon. How we doing?
Like
Bro,
you can see, you have a huge
το Σάββατο να αγαπάνε.
fan base here in France. Do you have so many words, maybe in French, for your French guys?
I don't know that much French, but bonjour, je m'appelle Martin. Comment tu t'appelles? That's all I know in French, but
Une légende dans tous les domaines. Avec lui, je sais pas si vous êtes au courant ici, mais il y a quelqu'un dans ce trio qui parle mieux français encore, et même très bien. C'est Chap.
Putain de merde, ta gueule, connard.
Il est un peu de chez nous, sa maman elle est française.
Εγώ θα έλεγα πάντως, σίγουρα.
Est-ce que tu as un mot, ou plusieurs même à dire, un message à transmettre à tous les fans français ici aujourd'hui?
Joey με τη μάνα σου σιγωμένη έτσι.
Je suis juste content d'être ici et j'espère de ramener la coupe à la maison.
Guys, make some noise for Mr. Savage, Chap, and Reason! And now, back to you, Frank.
Δεν είσαι εκεί, μην παραφέρεσαι, όντως. Sorry.
Now, the Gentlemates fans have been waiting for this moment, I think. Because earlier, on the big screen, when we showed their faces, there was so much noise, so much cheering in this audience. And I know they are just getting warmed up. So please, boys, on your feet. Leon, make some noise for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache! Queasy,
Ωραία, έχουν φέρει και τέτοια. Τουρτουτούν.
a couple of second places at Global Championships. How do you make it
Κάτσε ρε
number one
μαλάκα.
this time?
That's the goal. I mean, second twice, and if I have these fans and the atmosphere, should make it.
And Swizzy, if you hang on a second, what's this? What's this that you went to shake my hand? What's this? Oh, okay, right. Show me how it's done. It's hard with a microphone, but I'm managing. Swizzy, it seems like you've already got a good friendship with the Gentlemates.
Yeah,
And what would you like to say to them as they chant your name?
I didn't hear.
Have you any words for the Gentlemates?
Gentle.
Gentle mates. Gentle mates. Do you want to have a go, Mustache?
I feel amazing, but I want to hear one thing. Gentle! No. Gentle!
Nice. Okay, guys, I think I should probably
What the fuck?
get ready to
Ωραία μαλάκα, crazy.
because the teams here on our stage in Lyon are locked and loaded and ready to go.
Δεν μίλησε ο Πίτερ.
Guys.
Δεν σήκωσαν τον Πίτερ να μιλήσει,
Chill. Okay, the way this audience is going crazy for these players, it's got me so excited. Seeing them now take their seats, interact, getting their thoughts, we're getting close to kicking off the competition. I guess the only question I have for you guys is, who do you think will end in the top 5? You know, I'll start with you, Viv. You got a little, you got some insight. You put together a little list for us. Why don't you talk us through it?
Yeah, I guess that's the big question this weekend. Who is going to perform well? I went ahead. I kept the NA bias going. I've got Acorn, I've got Adrian, and I've got Pollo winning the whole thing. I mean, I've talked about it before. I think their situation is just too good. Uncontested all 12 games. If that remains, I think it should be easy for them. The only thing that
Top 4 Πίτερ ποτέ.
sneaking in there, top 5. They just seem so confident. Bolt is playing so well. Kanada's been here before. I think they're going to sneak in.
I like your list. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Kanada's trio. I think they have a really good setup. I think Kanada understands what it means to be on this stage on this occasion. I think they could really surprise some people today.
Okay, all right. What about you, Levin? What's your top 5 looking like?
My top 5 is looking, it's looking pretty similar, I'd say. Have we got any
Backgoat Hollas.
Any gentlemen over here? Because I'm with you, Vivid. I think the team that's going to take it. I think it's going to gentlemen.
Γλύψτε λίγο ένα Channel Mates επειδή έχουν έρθει εκεί πέρα όλοι και σας έχουν κάνει show μαλάκες.
With Acorn, Pollo and the Ages. I think when you look at how things are set up for them, it just looks too good. It looks too good. Pollo has that experience of winning. I think it's going to carry them. The crowd's going to carry them. I also got Marius Vanya Pixie there. They've had such a strong year in EU. They've had adversity that they've overcome. Swizzy, Queasy, Mustache in there. I think the team that maybe might surprise people in my list, I got Deemish, Dom, and Pix. I think these guys have been unbelievable all year over on EU.
Πρέπει να γίνει ένα τέτοιο Ελλάδα. Τι να κάνουμε στην Ελλάδα, bro. Θα πάμε εκεί πέρα και θα λέμε, τι θα λέμε. Καπνογόνα. Μαλάκες. Θα έπρεπε να υπάρχει Ολυμπιακός e-sports, ρε φίλε, στο Fortnite, να έχει κανένα παίχτη εκεί πέρα έτσι, Παναθηναϊκός, ΠΑΟΚ, ΑΕΚ, όλα αυτά εδώ πέρα οι μεγάλες ομάδες. Και να τους είχαμε όλους εκεί μέσα, ξέρω εγώ, και να πηγαίνανε εκεί πέρα όλοι ΠΑΟΚτζίδες, ΑΕΚτζίδες, Ολυμπιακοί, Παναθηναϊκοί. Μάλλον θα ήταν ό,τι πιο κόντερ, μαλάκα. Αλήθεια.
After 6 games today, another 6 tomorrow, we will have new champions. Prize money, a trophy.
Φανταστείτε, μαλάκα. Μπουνίδια μετά το τέτοιο, μέσα στο στάδιο καπνογό. Πόπο, μαλάκα, Παναγία. Θα ήταν τέρμα content, bro.
Maybe you're hoping to see a trio end well. What are you hoping to see today?
You know, Zeke kind of always asks me this question going into like each one of the majors, right? We spend a lot of time on the desk together. And there's really only one thing that I ever.
Ναι, ρε, ο Πάο έχει, αλλά εννοώ φάση να το τρέχουνε full, κατάλαβες.
I want to be entertained, and I cannot lie. I don't think that it's even possible for me to not be entertained.
All I ever want is a good moment. That's all I ever want. I think we're going to see plenty of them across the next 12 games, but today I think we're going to see people really make their mark on this lobby. Who's going to come out there and get that first win, man? I mean, that's always the most exciting part. You know, get the jitters out, get that first win out of the way, and then we start rolling.
Yeah, dude, again, it's like, you know, obviously there is definitely some players who have experience on land, but this crowd just changes everything, and especially, you know, you have to come in so
Τσατέρα, 625 άτομα, θέλω συνέχεια να κάνετε like, boys. Όσοι μπαίνετε καινούργοι, θέλω να κάνετε απλά like. Είναι πολύ σημαντικό. Like και subscribe αυτή τη στιγμή που μιλάμε, μάγκες. Let's get it. Να φτάσουμε 1000 likes plus. Κάτσε το βάλω και στο chat.
I mean, I've got no idea. How are you going to keep your voices under control, right? The players are kind of walking out. I'm over here trying to scream at them like, yeah, let's go.
Έχουμε και το Fortnite Tracker δίπλα.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like even talking to your teammates might be a little hard sometimes, right? Especially when we get into the end game, right? The crowd's going to be popping off at every single one of those eliminations. That keeps happening. It's going to be crazy. There's definitely going to be some stage of adaptability for every single one of our players. I mean, we talk about it all the time, Levin, experience, but you can have experience for this.
And look, Vivid, you're someone who's played on amazing stages in your career, right? And I don't think you ever played in an atmosphere like this one, man. It's intense out here.
No, I definitely haven't. I think this one is going to go down in the history books, and we haven't even jumped into game number 1 yet.
Man, you were talking about game number 1.
Μπήκαμε.
There it is.
Μπήκαμε game, boys.
Is ready.
Let's get it.
Once again, the pinnacle of Fortnite. The very best trios will now begin the fight to the top. Who will walk away as a global championship trio? Who will take hold of the Axe of Champions 3.0?
What the fuck?
And who will take home that unbelievable trophy? The competition starts right here, right now.
What the fuck?
Once again, Leo, let him know, because the competition starts here.
Μάλακα.
The time has come. The Fortnite Global Championship, Taco, all year long, 33 teams from around the world have been battling from major to major.
Να ξέρεις, Vlad, δεν θα ήταν καλό το στριμάκι, να ξέρεις. Καλύτερα να πούμε από το desktop.
It's to call yourself the best in the world.
It's all about that player pride, Jacob. We know just how much.
Αντικειμενικά αυτό το crowd πρέπει να υπάρχει πάντα γενικά στα globals.
Competing here today, but starting things off hot already. This is
Για να δούμε. Contest.
that we have been expecting to see, and what I really want to know is the shakeup, the outcome. Prodoxy trying to get that first touchdown. Prodoxy gets the first weapon. Sure enough, Haters on the run, still trying to see if he can score away from this, but Pablo, he's been taken down. Chino's fallen too. It's Tayson with the comeback. Prodoxy trying to see if he can lock it down for his team, but Tayson determined to remove
Τι έκανε ο Tayson, bro. My goat.
Prodoxy's trio fully down and out for the count, and Tayson has claimed the area.
Already one of our contested fights, 1-0.
Πού είναι ο Peterbolt, τι κάνει εκεί?
They're already not landing at Dystopia City. Everybody was talking.
Τι μαγείρεψε ο goat μου?
I kept my ears to the streets all week long to figure out what their game plan was, and scrims leading up to this weren't
Τι μαγείρεψε ο goat μου, bro?
results. And now you see them already over towards Foxy Floodgates. And what this does not only affect Visuals, Braids, and Minish. This also affects Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. This is the team they typically trade.
Σας το είπα, μαλάκες, Ραζερούκα τι μαγείρεψε.
Already disrupting the game plan.
Not the only ones, Veno, Flixie, Vico, they've got Rise in their sights, completely tackling all opposition here at Canyon Crossing. Rise doing what he can to try and stay alive, but entirely too many players to overcome. Veno breaks right through, and that's going to be the first knock. Another elimination tallied up here for Vico, Veno, and Flixie. Coyota, the sole survivor of this exchange.
And Coyota has pulled out a ton of tricks
Nice, Vino.
throughout his career, both online and in global events.
Crash padding,
Like this. But
it's
early on in game number one, he's already being forced to play out some of those tricks. He has to disengage, stay alive a little bit longer, and try to have a chance back. But you hear the crowd in the background, Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache.
Μαλάκα δεν θα ακούνε τίποτα αυτοί, να ξέρετε, boys. Πολύ δύσκολο να ακούν το game με τόσες φωνές.
The medallion, the mythic weapons, a lot of extra heals at the POI itself, and then the elevation. Kelly and Mini Miner were breaking it down so that way they can start to build that base early and accumulate the Storm Surge, so that way later on in the game they could easily start to rotate around.
And most importantly of all, they're uncontested here at High, whether that stage.
Μαλάκα, όντως ο Merstach, ο Swizzy και ο Queasy έχουν τεράστιο chance να νικήσουνε.
Other teams still caught up in a little battle.
Hey, yo, P!
At the start of this match, Dystopia City heating up.
Τι κάνει ο Peterbolt, bro, είναι τρελάκιας.
They made it very clear they had zero intentions of ever leaving this POI. So Tete, Raito, Razzle, they're going to have to force some sort of a conclusion to this exchange before the third parties start to trickle in.
Yeah, and it's not just Cold and his trio that are over on this side of the map that they have to watch out for. You see a team at the bottom of your mini-map. They can easily try to rotate towards the north, disrupt what's going on. So that's going to be one of the key aspects to a fight.
Οκ, πέφτει έξω χιλάρι full και μετά μπαίνουν Dystopia για third party, Για να μην το τρώνε αυτοί. Μαλάκα, δεν ξέρω, ο Ραζερού είναι crazy.
Tay takes a big shot. Epic Whale, the 6-time FNCS champion, dealing a massive amount of damage.
Tay down to his last little bits of HP though. Epic Whale, he's gonna have to take a moment to also get some relief. Paper, nice supportive fire, and that's a big elimination cleanup onto Tay. But now, Cold, Ritual, they're starting to close in. They're interested in everything that Reito has to
Hey, yo,
offer.
Cold!
It's gonna be the first knock here for Cold, an immediate elimination, but they've already signaled to Epic Whale, Faber, and Victor V that they've got company. Shields are cracked. Peterbot's not letting anybody escape his sights. Peterbot's aim is just notoriously strong, and he is chasing them full on key with those crash pads.
Τι να πω για αυτόν τον άνθρωπο, ρε. Γάμω το στόμα του, γάμο. Πες πως πουσάρει ο τρελάκιας. Τι κάνεις, Μιτ! Όχι, τον γάμισαν, μπρο. Μάινους ώρα. Όχι, μπρο. Μόλις έχασε ώρα ο Πιτ.
But this time, Paper, Epic Whale, and Victor V, they're being the aggressors in some of these situations. They try to disengage. Epic Whale goes down, but Victor V does it again. He was a huge part of them even making it to the global stage, clutch after clutch when his team went down through 4 different drop spots. But now the foot has been turned.
Μαλάκα ακούτε όμως πως κάνουν να πεθαίνει, μπρο. Ου, του γάμισε ο Βίκτορ, μπρο. Του γάμισε ο Βίκτορ, μπρο.
Victor V doing exactly what he needs to, showcasing what kind of a fragger he is. But Atris, Tayson,
Μαλάκα.
spot of trouble here. Couple of splashes, gonna ensure that Chicho is still good to go. But Chicho, he needs an opportunity here for his team to provide a little bit more backup. FKS tries to apply pressure from a separate angle.
Middle list push,
Also looking to see if they can get some good aggressive fire through, but things are just picking up at Rangers Ruin. And Tayson going to be able to pull things out to a little bit of a standstill now. Chicho, Atris, Tayson, they might not actually have to force this battle.
Yeah, it seems like they're overall just kind of trying to get as much surge as possible. You see their material count relatively low in comparison to after winning that spawn fight. You'd think they'd try to get as much resources as possible, but they know when it comes to Storm Surge, it's essentially currency. It essentially allows you to freely rotate around the map versus other teams that might have to slowly rotate, sit in their surge bases a little bit longer, and figure out what they're going to do. But you see, they figured it out quick for Cold and Ritual. They already get the reboot back on.
Λέτε να έχει αγχωθεί ο Πίτερ Wood λίγο με το γιουχάρισμα για αυτά. Δεν το έχει συνηθίσει.
We know just how capable they are at finding those eliminations, and they're not the only ones. Poyo chasing down Razzle, Agers and Acorn right behind them. These guys just staying so tight-knit and rolling through this map. They're fairly looted up at this point too, Jacob. It just looks like Surge is all theirs to control.
Yeah, you can kind of see the crash pads, no audio. Razzle didn't even hear or see it coming. And you see there's no knock, straight elimination. So that team, that was the 3rd one from Dystopia City, is down and out. But fight after fight, Arc, I did see it in the feed. He already got 1 elimination, and I was talking to them a bunch. You know, me being an NA West fan, this was their game plan all along. Contested or not,
NA West είναι αυτή. Όχι, αυτή είναι... OC.
Continues to build, but Goofy is just trying to slow things down just a little bit. And monster shot to take down the shield of Salco. But Arc and School, the IGL and the Fragger, they're still there. They're holding the walls and making sure nobody can get out of this one.
I mean, being honest, Arc's been running it all week long inside of the scrim lobbies, inside of the practice room. He is more than content to take up a box fight with anybody, and especially if he's got his teammates right next to him. You can see the confidence from the NA West boys, but Oshi still doing their best to hold their own despite being down a player. It doesn't seem to be deterring them. They know they can't really leave this area because they're likely to be third party. They've got to just find a way to delay and hope that they have that little bit of a saving grace from another team entering the exchange.
Uh-oh, I see somebody rotating relatively close. They said, hey, where's our invitation? We want to join this party. We want to figure out how we need to approach this situation. And they're lurking all the way underneath. So it's going to be Salco, School, and Arc, the ones that need to watch out just a little bit. Vortex and Goofy, they're just trying to hold their ground. as much as possible. But this is the thing, against a team like Arc School and Salco, when you try to hold your ground like this, that's for them a sign of weakness. They're going to continue to put that pressure down. If you look at their material as well, they don't need to disengage out of this fight. They can wait as long as they want, because in essence, they're just denying you time, they're denying you opportunity, and denying the chance to get that reboot back.
But it might not
be
as prime as what it initially appeared, not with Queasy hovering in the distance.
Έλα, δείξε μας κάτι άλλο, bro, βαρετό.
To work with too, they're bound to take notice of what's going down.
Okay.
Elsewhere across the map though, south of Hyde, King, PA's in, Phaser getting fraggy up against Scarpa and Way.
Μια χαρά.
That's gonna be an easy clean up
Εύκολο.
for King's team.
Ο Κλίξ, για να δούμε. Τι κάνει ο Κλίξ.
Now over towards Supernova and already early
Ω, λουτάρα έχουνε, bro.
see where the zone is favoring a little bit towards the north, massively towards the west. So even though Clix
Λουτάρα.
haven't had to rotate just yet, they can focus on trying to get as much storm surge as possible. They've run into trouble. There's a speed bump in their plan. That's Reet, Cooper, and Curly. And he was very vocal. Reet was. He said, hey, we understand what's going on around the lobby. We just got to make some things happen. They have 2 early eliminations. That comes with storm surge itself. And they're continuing to rotate through so many other teams' loop paths and pathways.
There's also just so much confidence behind Reed and just teaming with a player that has so
Του έχουν βάλει την κάμερα του Reed, bro.
It's bound to just have that trickle down effect to his teammates. Not to say that Cooper and Curly aren't clearly thinking of themselves in the same way, but
Εν τω μεταξύ ο Reed παίζει controller και είναι πάρα πολύ χαλαρός, ρε πούστη μου.
every single time this weekend, Jacob, that we see the Gentlemates, Malibuca, Ping, loading across the screen here, just waiting to find their reposition opportunity. That sole elimination on Malibuca right now, but tailing just behind Yapko, Panzer, and Seti. This could be disastrous if they don't realize what's coming up behind them.
Yeah, there's no audio visuals that far away, so they're just going to try to get some easy surge. You see the launch pads coming out. That's a huge signal. Seti and Panzer have to kind of second guess.
Ωραία, πούστε.
Because Yapko's just getting being targeted out of the sky. Just one shot left is all they need, but he possibly leaves that render.
Ωραία, πούστε.
Ένα
σπίτανε.
They're not only building that to try to
Ο Κάμι δεν πέρασε ο Κάμι. Όλοι έχουν περάσει, ρε. Όλα τα top teams.
for him to survive.
They fully protected their trio mate. That's just excellent team play, but pulling back, Baka, Pars, Pump, a little bit tangled up right now north of Supernova Academy. Saad, Snowy, and Ryu, though, are
What the fuck?
in a slightly worse position, but the intention is clear. These two teams very likely to clash here, Jacob.
Snowy, φίλε. Η Emate είναι clan, organization είναι. Δεν το λέγα clan. Αλλά είναι τεράστιο organization από ό,τι έχω καταλάβει.
Stay toward the dead side of it all and just try to make sure they have the best chances to survive what could be a very, very chaotic storm surge if it does deactivate. And that's why you're seeing so many teams.
Γιαννάρας με το gift member. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, μαγκές. Shout out Γιαννάρας W Γιάννης. Τσατάρα, θέλω πριν να ξέρετε, στο δεύτερο game, μετά το δεύτερο game θα πάμε kick. Ωραία. Πριν το δεύτερο game θέλω να φτάσουμε 1000 likes, bro. Πολύ σημαντικό να φτάσουμε 1000 likes, μαγκές. Σπαμάρετε όλοι likes όσο δεν έχουμε κάνει. Ένα κουμπί είναι, boys. Μπαμ, μπαμ. Και τον gift θα πάει στον Μάτο. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ, Μάτο. God bless, brother. Λοιπόν, θέλω να μου δείξεις λίγο Peterbot, θέλω να μου δείξεις λίγο Πόγιο, θέλω να μου δείξεις λίγο... Ποιον άλλο να μπρο. Α, και ο Κανάντα, Μαλάκες, φανταστείτε να νικήσει Κανάντα, μπρο.
But Kanata, Rapid, and Bulge, Kanata's perfection continues in terms of qualifying for every single FNCS Grand Finals in the history of FNCS. But I think they come in with a different energy this time around. If you remember a few years ago, contested against Malibuca and Thomas at the Global Championship, he just had a different mindset. He's like, I'm contested, it's not going to go well. This time, he's confident. He says, hey, we're going to win. And the way they've been playing lately, they have as good a chance as anybody at taking that top spot.
A little bit of a sleeper, maybe under the radar team there, but Vanya, Mariez, Pixie, one of our major champion winners in EU, and now looking to see if they can extend their dominance across the Globals stage. Vanya, Mariez, Pixie, just steadily trying to creep up on the opposition, but thinking twice.
Μαλάκα τρώνε W από τέτοιους, από Middle East.
Local to their area. They don't want to overextend here, but for Marius, he's just waiting to see whether or not he can break out these floors from underneath Valor and Mansoor.
By the way, να ξέρετε, boys, αύριο είναι σημαντική μέρα. Αύριο μαθαίνουμε ποιος θα είναι και ο νικητής, για όποιον δεν ξέρει.
Yeah, and they're just kind of playing as calculated as they can. We've seen a lot of these
Chat, Mr. Savage Reason πάνω στο high ground. Πάρα πολύ καλό search base. Πες να έχουν κάποιοι search εκεί πέρα.
especially with so many third-party potential there. You know, we saw
Κάνει ένα predict το top 3. Πόγιο. Pix, Darm, ο άλλος ο Μαλάκας, Demus. Και... Queasy ρε φίλε. Έτσι λένε τα odds. Έτσι λένε τα odds, τουλάχιστον.
But the main thing that I'm noticing, Jacob, is that Vanya,
Πίτερ, όχι.
they're not carrying any white heals, so unless
Τσάτ, δεν ξέρω το game plan του Πίτερ, δεν καταλαβαίνω τι κάνει.
position, they can't afford to keep tanking these early storm ticks.
Δηλαδή, ο Epic Whale ζει και ο Πίτερ Ποτζή, αλλά είναι σκατά τώρα, καταλαβες.
Cold, Ritual, Peterbot, they might have just
Και παίζουνε και zone.
and Veno with Vico, but for right now, Rangers Ruin, what seems like it might have been heating up, these guys are actually looking to kind of slow it down.
Yeah, and for, you know, Ritual and his trio, they just kind of have scraps. They got sticks and stones. And look at this on the other side. Multiple minis, big pots, full health, almost max mats. And even though they don't necessarily have that information on one another, that is a great decision for them to kind of go their separate ways. Because I would almost give that one up to Veno and his trio if that did fight it out. Continuing looking around,
Ο οποίος είναι παγκωμένος, όχι ρε, απλά το θέμα είναι... πως είχε triple con. Ωραία, και τώρα αυτός θέλει να κάνει ένα game plan έτσι, ωραία, push, εντάξει. Ένα game plan το οποίο να τον κάνει ρε φίλε, να βγει από τα σκατά, κατάλαβες. Η Μάρα.
Easily, but Acorn and Agers, they might just be the ones to actually intervene here. They seemingly have favorable positioning, but Cammy, a little bit of pressure applied with the approach now. Malibuka, Ping, and Wox just trying to be wary. There is so much company in that area. It's very easy. Just one window edit for too long, you could easily be done.
Wide drop τους μογκάρει όλους. Μπορεί.
321 damage below the threshold. This is a two-time NA West champions. In Major 1, they won 6 out of 12 games, just dominating the region. But contested off spawn can do things to you, especially when the team is running away. But they're still hot on the hills. These are still the two
είναι below.
rotating parallel to one another. But Maka, Pars, and Pump, they've now ran out of options. Their hand is being forced, and they have to go in because Storm Surge will activate, and every 7 seconds they will take 25.
Μαλάκα στο Snowy, πολύ sneaky golem, bro.
But the worst part still, Saad not actually in the same position. His team relatively healthy for their surge, at least for right now, Jacob. Bars, Baka, Pump, they're going to take a moment to pause, but now with these
είναι below γάματα.
starting to break away at their shields, they're going to be
Baka
forced
dead.
to fight it. Baka already out of this battle. Bars shortly after, but now Saad, Snowy, Ryu, this is a huge come up. These guys just got a little loot bomber package delivered straight to their front door.
Μια χαρά, μαλάκα. Δες εδώ το middle list πως παίζει, Πολύ καλά, bro, respect.
Eliminated back to the lobby, but I did see it in the feed. A couple of these guys kind of putting it all into the test. As Cooper lands a great shot on the Valor. You see him dropping him down.
Τι έκανε, 1v3 έκανε.
1v3 situation, and he is just hitting haymaker after haymaker as he gets another knock in this situation. 300.
Τι στο πούτσο είδα, bro.
That couldn't have been a better time to clutch things up, but Cooper still
Τι έκανε ο Cooper, bro.
his life here. There are too many players that are going to prevent him from finding that breath of relief.
Violation, μαλάκα. Put them down. Γιάννη μου, ευχαριστούμε πολύ για τον ευρώ, bro.
So sad to see after what a phenomenal clutch he just pulled off, and with Wox, Malibuka, and Ping pressing
Okay, P.
behind him, that's going to be
54 above,
But Peterbot just continues to have to deal with playing the defensive here.
53 above.
Peterbot now looking to be on the move, but they're still just barely above this damage threshold. They're going to have to eventually.
They're sitting on a teeter-totter right now when it comes to Storm Surge, and it's knocking them above, below, and it's essentially doing a little bit of mind games for a team like this. And you see his material count, 3 builds left. They almost have to go onto the next team they see, but it's Veno and his trio, it's Kanata and his trio. There's so many dangerous players all around. They're just happy that they're 73 above the damage threshold, waiting for the next zone, but they have to do something because everyone around them is being proactive. They see them as the weak team. Vico, Veno, Flixie, over. Cole goes down. That's Kanata stealing away that elimination. Veno's going to clean that one up, so points go to Kanata's team. Loot goes to Veno's.
EU on one side, Middle East on the other, and Ritual, the last man standing, but not for much longer, fully eliminated. That is a huge blow here in game 1, but Vico, Veno, Flixie, now they're drawing the attention of the lobby.
Πρώτο game κακό για Pit.
Replenish their shields. Halad and Hero still doing what they can, but they're lingering just outside. They're gonna have
Και ο Πόγιο είναι τέτοιο. Έφυγε. Και ο Πόγιο out.
But the way that the zone is pulling over resistance.
Περιμένετε λίγο, boys. What the fuck.
So much exposure. Teams are just burning through materials.
Yeah, this one's going to get messy. There's one lone team.
Όπα, μαλάκες.
On the other side of
Για να
the
δούμε.
island already. They don't have to worry about anything. Meanwhile,
Silver Surfer ο Higgs.
here on this side of the zone. You stack up the beach coast as long as possible with
Μαλάκα, αν το σηκώσει η EU, είναι το πρώτο W του EU, να ξέρετε. Δεν έχουμε σηκώσει event για event. Άντε να έχουμε σηκώσει. Ποιο είχαμε σηκώσει, μαγκές. Είχαμε σηκώσει νομίζω 1, αλλά δεν ήταν. Νομίζω ήταν 0 build κιόλας. Ή build. Νομίζω 1 είχαμε σηκώσει. Κάμι σέτι, ναι, κάμι σέτι. Από το 22-23 έχουμε να σηκώσουμε. Ποιο station ρε, ο Κάμι και ο Σέτι το σήκωσαν. Το Dreamhack δεν μετράει, μαγκές, ήταν μόνο τέτοιο ώρα. Μιλάω για FNCS Globals. Έχουμε σηκώσει μία φορά Ευρώπη. Mongrel, ξύπνα. Ποιος Mongrel, βρε ηλίθιε. Ένα FNCS EU έχει νικήσει ο Mongrel, bro. Τσίντο! Κάτω δεξιά, μαγκές, το είδατε. Μα λέγα παίζει και γράφεις, what the fuck.
The good thing, though, is they're 568 damage above the threshold. The bad thing, though, their loadout, their material count, that one is not looking good. 5 bandages. Luckily, they don't have any HP missing yet, but they have a max pull all across the water to the other side of that island. It's not going to be easy for a single person in this game, but there goes Malibuka. Nice drop on the
Oh, Malibuka στο δόνει, το Τζάρι.
Needs it now because he's barely above that damage threshold.
And that's the kind of refresh that Marius was hoping to find, but instead it's going to be all Malibuka. But no, he's going to actually be forced to keep charging forward. He doesn't even get a chance to try and collect that body loot off of Hardy. Fortunately, he still has a good amount of materials and just beaming a minute as he
Μαλάκες, τι πατάει ο Μαλιμπούκα σε αυτά τα αέρινα shots, θα έλεγε κανείς.
When you're in this position, Jacob, as a solo over the water, you're just hoping out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, you just got to take it one step at a time. You can't get too ahead of yourself.
Striker Kadu Tisco.
Actually going down around, you got to use that as a distraction, try to get out. But Marius finds himself in a tough spot. Well above the damage threshold, and another elimination on the eye drop. But he is by himself as a solo with a rotation to make. Now he's just getting ticked away little by little. Talal is able to finally take him down. That's a big confidence boost for a team like that.
Queasy, alive.
Height has had a couple of developments here. Striker and Kadu, we saw them posturing a little bit earlier on.
Mr. Savage Chap Reason δεν είναι σε organization, μαλάκες. Αυτό είναι ακραίο.
Reason, Mr. Savage Chap definitely setting up a visual is actually going to be one of the first to try and move into the next position. Cisco Kadu striker.
Ποιοι είναι αυτοί, bro?
Right up above. Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts trying to see if they can be a threat. But if you're going to be in this height position, you've got to make sure that you are controlling, funneling players away from height, away from secondary height even. But with the crash pads in play, Jacob, that's going to be so difficult.
Yeah, you got to watch out too.
Μαλάκα, τι το είναι στο high, bro.
Tayson, they're underneath. They're probably having their eye on the high ground.
Και του μοιάζει κιόλας, bro.
Damage on the King Phaser PH Sin, but it backfires on him, forcing him to retreat just a little bit. As Tayson just building his way up, he knows he doesn't want to be stuck on that mess on the low ground. And even NA West in the elimination feed going crazy as Arkansas will take down King Phaser.
Tayson, πολύ καλά για πρώτο game.
But Tayson's got such an excellent position in that secondary height layer now. shooting towards that front side of zone. It's only Clix and Iyamzo. They lost Higgs somewhere along the way. Iyamzo doing what he can to claim a little bit of space here next to Clix, but ideally, they're going to have to duke it out in the low ground, Jacob. They need a big refresh. They've got to keep that material count high, but Mustache, he's actually fallen the mid-ground, getting a little bit too chaotic, and he just couldn't break through.
Yeah, Chicho's the one that gets the down, but Kadu's the one that steals away the elimination and getting a lot of loot for their efforts. Queasy trying to do the same thing. Steal whatever is left back from Mustache. And you're seeing there's a decent amount of loot. The Flowberry Fizz, probably the most important part of the entire loadout that he has in that.
Έχουμε Έλληνες, όχι δεν έχουμε Έλληνες.
Clixie, Vico, they're still down below. They're trying to claim space, and with the minigun, that's just going to be a little bit easier. But with no extra shield, Vico's got to play a little careful here not to take too much damage. Swizzy, Queasy, same thing, but they have multiple splashes. They got the slurp juice. They got the key to success in their inventory.
Queasy πολύ καλός IGL. Πολύ καλός IGL ο Queasy.
Ultimate low, they're hoping that they can pick up an elimination or two and then maybe look to try and challenge for a retake on height. They know how scuffed everybody's looking at here, but Vico finds that elimination onto Art. That's going to be a massive refresh here. Vico, though, getting beat. The moment that he tries to make a layer swap, he is immediately put down into the dirt.
Nice, ρε.
Fighting for his life still in
Όχι
the
ρε
he
μάλλον.
just can't hang up. Ball's going to
Δεν είχε μάτς.
take him out.
Yeah, even though Clix went down, the damage has been felt for that team that he just took out two different players in a tough situation. That's Tayson.
Μαλάκα, ποιοι είναι αυτοί οι random ομάδες που πήραν win, bro.
That minigun is just causing so many distractions. They have to focus on getting to the front side of the zone, but they're being persistent. Down goes high ground. This is their chance. They're looking up.
Καλά win δεν παίρνουνε, όντως. Πω, μαλάκα. Ο Χρυσός, μαλάκα τσίκο. Αυτός έχει το καλύτερο aim, από τα καλύτερα aim στην Ευρώπη. Tayson, μαλάκα, high ground, Δεν θα το περίμενα αυτό.
He's looking to try and maybe cut off bolts in the process, but Kanata, Rapid, can the double revive actually be a success? And sure enough, it's a fully intact trio versus the sea of duos. Freezing finds a big elimination onto Swizzy though, and Chap
Mr. Savatsape.
back. Tayson still on the high ground.
2v3 Vienna.
That was a huge knock for both. They finished that elimination on the reason. This is a 2v2v2, and the only team alive with
Κανάντα top 2, μαλάκες. Τι είπε. Oh my fucking god! Δείτε passion εδώ ρε! Δείτε passion bro! Sit the fuck down! Oh my fucking god, Kanada!
Let's go, Kanada! You were telling Benji how confident you were going into this competition. You were telling me in the player lounge yesterday you felt like this was your year. Now you have the first victory royale, but you made it look simple.
I mean, to be honest, Rapid IGL like a goat right now. I'm just following. I'm the minigun in the whole lobby, and we just winning the game for free.
Winning the game for free. I don't think the other trio is going to let you have an easy ride in future. For you, Bolt, what was it like being caught in the chaos? The three of you going into the end game.
Yeah, I mean, Rapid was just full tarping. I'm literally just looking with shocking out on my wall. Everything was a max. Guy on my double edit, 120 on height, Nada goes up from the back, dead on both. Literally a go.
First game, first victory royale. That was the plan?
Yeah. First of many.
First of many what?
Wins. Victory royales. 4.
Ah, il mise sur 4 victoires. Messieurs, dames, du bruit.
Τι βάζει να κάνω να μιλήσει ρε μαλάκα, δεν καταλαβαίνει το Χριστό του.
I'm enjoying this, a confident prediction of 4 from your IGL, but Kanada, I think you're expecting more wins.
Oh, we got at least 3 more wins in a bag. I already said backstage I'm doing at least 4 wins in this entire tournament for free.
All right then, well guys, I'll let you get ready for the
Canada.
lobby
Lovely.
of the day. Leon, let them hear you! Bobs, Kanada, and of course Rapid. Let's head to the break.
Okay.
We'll be back soon with more Fortnite.
Μαλάκες μέχρι στιγμής είναι top. Και να μην έχει νικήσει ο Πίτερ που μέχρι στιγμής είναι top. Οκ, 3 λεπτά για το επόμενο game, μαλάκες. Πάρα πολύ καλά. Λοιπόν, πάμε να δούμε τα standings. Fortnite Tracker. Events. Πρώτος ο Χρήσιο Τέισονε. Είχαν παραπάνω kills λογικά. 13 eliminations. Οκ. Πρώτη Chris Station Chico. Rapid Canada Bolts Vico Vino Flixi. Τέταρτος ο Mr. Savage. Πέμπτη λογικά είναι NA West παίχτες. Έκτη Sweezy. 7 Visuals. Βραζιλιάνοι. Where's my go P? Top 23 ο P. Παύλο Wing of Redox τελευταίοι. Οκ. Οπότε το EU μέχρι στιγμής είναι πρώτη, μπρο. Και να πήρε το Win ο Κανάντα πάλι πρώτη είναι το EU. Οκ. Τι ακούμε, βάζω λίγο πιο κάτω γιατί άμα φάμε κανένα copyright θα σου πω εγώ Fortnite. Chill. Ο Σάββατς έβαγε crash. Πάλι. Μα λέγω, ο Σάββατς παίζει να είναι ο πιο unlucky άνθρωπος, bro. Ο πιο unlucky άνθρωπος. Radio Chillis. Στο YouTube δεν γίνεται Radio Chillis, bro. Στο YouTube Radio Chito λέγεται. Europe FNCS Champion, by the way. Μαλάκα δεν ξέρω. Άμα το πάρει το EU. Το πρόβλημα είναι ότι το contest του Tation είναι όντως 50-50. Ναι, το ξέρω. Και έχει και από τους καλύτερους. Δηλαδή, όσο και να τους κάνουν να τους γαμάνε, δεν ξέρω και εγώ τι, τον Φρεντόξη, είναι ο πιο established off-spawn fighter. Είναι ο καλύτερος off-spawn fighter που έχει περάσει ο Φρεντόξη και το team του. Πόση ώρα για kick μετά το δεύτερο game, μαγκές. By the way, chat, πάνω στο chat φαίνεται το link του kick που θα είμαστε live για τα επόμενα games μετά από αυτό το game. Ωραία. Μετά από αυτό το game θα πάμε kick. Οπότε πηγαίνετε κάντε όλοι ένα follow, κάντε account στο kick, να πάμε να δούμε τα globals μαζί. Σάββατζ έβαγε κράσο τέλος. Αυτό που το είδατε, boys. Κάτσε. Ακόμα παίζει μουσική. Ωραίο πρώτο μάτς είδαμε. Κάνει stream. Α, κάνουνε stream, ρε. Ο Πιτ κάνει stream. Ή όχι. Ο Σάββατ κάνει stream. Τι λέει ο άλλος ο τρελάκιας, ρε. Όχι coach book, πού είναι, Fortnite. Να το.
Of the global championship, and we swing for the fences. I cannot believe Kanata comes out and gets the first game on the day.
Frosty δεν ξέρω γιατί το κάνει αυτό, bro.
Kanata stocks way up. Absolutely amazing.
Έχεις κατεβάσει την εφαρμογή Kick στο κινητό. Άμα μπαίνεις από το κινητό στο Kick με το... Από το application καλά θα είσαι να ξέρεις.
Get each and everyone kind of saying, hey, this is what I was doing, this was my part, this was their part. Oh my gosh, man. Vivid, I love this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the type of reaction we wanted. No better person to go ahead and number one. We know Kanata every single time he pops up on that stage.
Και ο Bolts πολύ καλός παίχτης.
Exactly what just happened. But Levin, I mean, we're kind of watching through this game. There's so much stuff happening throughout the entirety of these moving zones, and we never really checked in with him, and then I was like, whoa. Rapid's alive, Bolts is alive, Kanata's alive, the full trio was up.
Oh my god.
I love the celebration here, man. Look at it. He actually celebrated more than people who have won global championship. You know, I don't think we've seen people celebrate like this when they even win. And it just goes to show how much it means to them, how much it means to have such a good start. You're right, Vivid. Things were looking so good. I mean, as soon as we cut to Kanata, he has minigun in hand.
Στον Κανάντα μας κάνει. Έχει το μεγαλύτερο passion ever ο Κανάντα, bro. Θα στορκίζομαι. Έχει delay, κάτσε να κάνω ένα τέτοιο refresh.
Yeah.
But Bolts and Rapid, the way they were talking, they really believe that they're going to go out here and win for however many more games.
Πώς γίνεται να μην θέλεις να νικήσει ο Κανάντα, ας πούμε, τώρα, ρε φίλε. Μετά από αυτό που είδα εγώ τώρα, θέλω legit να νικήσει ο Κανάντα τα Globals. Ο άλλος το θέλει πιο πολύ, μα λέγα από το τίποτα. Δεν κάνω πλάκα. Ευχαριστούμε για όλα τα follow στο Kick, μαγκές. God bless America. Μετά από αυτό το game πάμε Kick. Σας το λέω από τώρα να είστε όλοι μέσα στο Kick. Μετά από αυτό το game. Το link μπορείτε να το βρείτε πάνω στο chat. Πάνω, pin comment.
I'm trying to play with Bolts, man. Can we get Bolts in our chair? Bolts has to be the guy. Everybody thought he was going to ascend to be the best player in the world, right? And he's had an up and down year. But to come
Και μετά πάνω να βάλω και κουστούμι. Νομίζω το θέλει αυτό το global, μαλάκα, μ' αρέσει πάρα πολύ.
I am so happy right now. But honestly, when we looked at those standings, they weren't in first place, right? We look over and Tayson is in first place. 13 eliminations. Right, so again, majors, right? We're sitting in our own region comfortable. But these are some of the best trios in the world. How are we putting up double-digit eliminations in game one?
This is the same guy, by the way, who started the day saying, yeah, I'm going to give the win to...
Μαλάκες δεν είναι όλοι οι ίδιοι, bro. Λες και είναι οι ίδιοι, bro.
Now, they win the off spawn. It's a close one, it's a tight one. But Tayson clutched up big, and then they go on to just win the outright game. Again, it's why it's so heartbreaking we're seeing them fight off spawn. They can go, Vivid, from having this game to not even get...
Ωραία, μαλάκα, κράσερ ο Savage, ρε μαλάκα. Όντως τώρα, what the fuck. Ο Κακομοίρης, ρε μαλάκα.
Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff, right? Talking about that all spawn, I kind of mentioned, hey, when you win this all spawn, it's not always going to happen where you have all three alive, and they had that happen, right? No stalling of the early game, and then, oh my gosh, Chicho just putting on an absolute clinic. You're a duo, and you look up and you see three people on the high ground. You see that they're only connected by one wood floor. You have the confidence to not only go ahead and pressure the team on the high ground, but then knock two of them while they're falling from the high ground. Chicho just showing us the aim in full force.
I mean, this is where I start to really look at the global championships and things get interesting for me.
Πώς λένε στο Kick, το link είναι πάνω στο τέτοιο, μαγκές, στο chat. Το pin comment.
We know EU teams like to play with it. We know Queasy team love to play for it early. We know
Δυνάμωσε λίγο, το έχω max, boys.
in this game it was Queasy's team that had set up. Kazi teams ended up taking it from them, and so Chicho and them are looking up. They might have probably been expecting it to be more reinforced, right? Chicho's probably looking up thinking, Queasy's probably up there. He looks up and he's like, hold on a minute.
Ένα μου γυμνή.
Man, let's chop this down. And it's so opportunistic, but it's exactly what you need in a lobby like this. You have to take opportunities when they come to you.
Oh my gosh, so absolutely beautiful. Man, as we start to head down this live list though, Vico, Veno, Flixie tied up with Chap, Reason, and Mr. Savage. Wow. You know, there's just so many incredible moments. I feel like anytime we cut to a different trio, it's just like, hey, this trio's popping off. They're pushing what trio? They're doing what? Like, this is such an exciting time in Fortnite. Once again, I'm going to keep saying it all weekend long, man. Bringing together 7 regions and making them fight. It is spectacular.
Το χρόνο σου του παίζεις εκεί, εννοείται, bro. Και αν δεν με δεις να παίζω εκεί, bro, θα είμαι εκεί guarantee. Guarantee τον επόμενο χρόνο. Τα μίλησα με την Epic Games. Τα είπαμε εμείς. Και θα τους πρίξω και το boots να μου έχουν PC. Στα αρχίδια μου όσοι αντίξει. Πάει γαμηθεί ο κολόγερος.
On that leaderboard, but man, if they could have just stayed alive for a little bit longer as a trio, they could have won that game.
Yeah, you talked about Vico's confidence coming into the competition, and it was good to see him in his element, not shying away from the stage, not shying away from the bright lights. In that game, there was so many. There was a couple of moments in that end game where it almost felt like they had to tell him to chill a little bit. I saw him trying to like run into boxes a bit too much, but when Vico's confident and he's firing and he's flying like that, he is going to be a big problem for anybody who even gives him.
Αυτό λέω, ρε μάλακα. My G Faxuty, εγώ και ο Faxuty θα είμαστε, bro. Ο άλλος θα έχει κάνει τώρα quit ο Siandix, είπαμε.
Kind of early game, right? Getting obviously we know that they're uncontested, but yeah, having the queen spawn, I'm thinking, bro, this is it, game over. I mean, and things didn't quite go that way.
It was unfortunate because the setup looked primed for a classic Queasy hype win. It just looked so set up perfectly, but Vivid
Σκούμπα, κάθε χρόνο τα ίδια λέμε, πουτάνας, yeah.
You know, it's a part of the game. Of course, as a pro team, you are doing everything you can to mitigate any possible RNG, but sometimes the zones just don't pull your way, and I think that was really the thing that sort of forced them to have to not be able to play high.
Αυτό τραψί.
Still, very good intentions from them throughout that game.
Καλά, μου ζήτησαν 1000 συγγνώμη το μεταξύ και το ένα και το άλλο, Δεν καταλαβαίνεις τώρα γλέψιμο, αλλά τέλος πάντων. Τα ύψη.
It's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's Queasy and Co. They launch padded right over, landed on top of him, had it convincingly, and like Levin was talking about, right? The zone was incredible. It was like 7th zone. Every single team was on the east side.
Τσατάρα όλοι like το στριμάκι, subscribe καινούργοι. Μην το ξεχνάτε, κυρίες και κύριοι.
Set of arrows, just one little set of purple arrows, and that was Kado's trio from the Brazilian region. And the zone pulled west. So they just had high ground for free, and Queasy was like, yeah, you guys are lucky. I'm not going to go for that, but man, I'm going to hit socials after that one.
And I mean, there was a point where I thought they might even try to retake it, right? Because Queasy gets the fizz, like he sees the loot, gets the fizz. He has his crash pad. I'm thinking, maybe they go for it. This can still happen. But look, again, it's like what I said, intentions, right? You see that they're coming into their
Κατάλαβε αυτός που πρέπει να καταλάβει.
from doing what they do best. Queasy, Mustache, and Suzy, we have definitely not heard the end of it from them.
Κατάλαβε αυτός που πρέπει να καταλάβει.
There's a trio I'm not seeing in this top 10 right now. And we thought they were going to be triple contested, but turns out they
Γιατί λέει 2 λεπτά πάλι.
on the train, kick things
Ξέρω εγώ, ρε μαλάκα.
Golden Ritual. And before we go any further, I just want to tip my hat to Victor V. Peterbot decided, let me get a little crazy right now. We got to knock, let's push things. Victor V said, excuse me, this is a global stage, friend. Knocks him back down, and then from that point forward, boys, they're just kind of trying to piece things together. Shambles all game?
This might be a concern. Right? Because if the plan from these guys was, hey, look, we're going to land outside the POI, get looted up a bit, and go in third party. We know those guys are going to take a bit of time to find the story. Let's go in third party. We're Peterbot, we're Cold, we're Ritual. This will be an easy cleanup crew. If that was your plan, and the first game goes like that, do you start rethinking things a little bit? Do you start thinking, okay, maybe this isn't an easy of a flight to clean up as we thought, because they got rocked in there.
I mean, yeah, everything in game number 1 is perfect. Like Levin's talking about, one of the teams that was fighting there, they got knocked, right? There was only a solo left. Peterbot, they waited till the right time to go ahead and make that push in. Victor V, Paper, they were resin Epic Whale.
Άντε βρε μαλάκες, γάμω το γιάπινγκ μου γάμω.
Solo, right? Imagine if Pete would have just waited like 5 seconds for Ritual and Cold to kind of show up right there. So I think the game plan is still good, right? It already shows that it works. I think the execution of actually picking up the eliminations was the fault.
But that's the thing. That's never the part you're worried about with those three, right? Execution is never the problem. The problem coming into this weekend was going to be, what's the idea? Are they just going to, ride out triple gun? Are they going to go do a team shot? Are they going to try third party? We know the idea now. The execution has to be the easy part. I do agree with you though. I think as long as they don't allow that first game being a bit rocky to rattle them, things should still look good for them along the course of the 12 games.
And that's exactly what I'm worried about, right? After first game, if I'm Peterbot Cold Ritual, I'm thinking, okay, hold on a minute. Why did you go off by yourself? What? Now we're having to try and play catch up this whole game.
Yeah.
Some players in that moment, that's it. Tournament's done. They can't they have to wait till day number 2 to try and get those mentals back in track.
Yeah.
But this is still Peterbot Cold and Ritual, right? This is still a world-class trio.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they can kind of bounce back after that game. But there was also just so many different things happening.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of other moments that kind of stand out to you? I think for me, just again, kind of cutting around being like, wait, these guys are near each other. There's a bunch of fights happening in zone.
Peterbot Downfall. Δεν νομίζω να είναι Peterbot Downfall αυτό, bro. Ο Peterbot δηλαδή, και να μην νικήσει αυτά τα globals και να μην βγει καλή θέση, πάλι είναι ο go-to game, καταλαβες. Έχει κάνει το καλύτερο run που μπορείς να κάνεις σε ένα season. Έχει νικήσει 6 FNCS, πόσα έχει νικήσει. 2 globals. Τι να του πεις. Να του πεις τι. Βασικά, ένα global ή 2 globals έχει νικήσει, δεν θυμάμαι. Ένα. Ή 2. Δεν θυμάμαι. Ένα global. Έχει νικήσει ένα global, σχεδόν όλα τα FNCS στο NA, top 2 στο NA. Τι να πεις. Το pro EM δεν μετράει. Το pro EM δεν μετράει. Εντάξει, είπαμε. Έτρωγε τον άλλη στην αέρα σαν τρελός.
Dude, I mean, again, this is a global stage, right? In those moments where you are kind of put in a situation where it's like...
Ναι ρε, μετράει, Βλαντί, με αντίπαλο τον άλλη A. Να πεθαίνει στον αέρα και να λέει τρελαίνομαι.
And now, just think, that's just game number 1. What else is he going to look to bring in these future games? with that nice little boost of confidence.
Now that being said, right, you kind of mentioned, hey, you know, we don't see a team in the top 10. We don't see a couple teams in the top 10.
Εν τω μεταξύ, αν τον επόμενο χρόνο είναι duos, θα έχει τρελό content. Τρελό content και πάλι. Και τα τρίος κάνει τα ωραία είναι ρε φίλε, αλλά βγάλαμε λίγο αρρώστια με τα τουρνουά που βάλανε.
Game number one. I mean, honestly, with Fortnite, there's so much to watch. I don't even think we necessarily saw exactly what happened to them that game, but middle of the game, we kind of see.
Τι έγινε η Γαλλία, έπεσε ρε. Για το πρώτο game κάνανε έτσι σαν τρελή.
Yeah, a bit of a rocky one, right? We don't exactly know what happened. We did see in the feed though, Acorn had gone
Call.
down, then it was up
Σίτο,
to
μόνο εσύ μπορείς να πεις το call, bro, κανείς άλλος.
Ages and Poyo to sort of fend off. Poyo ends up actually, you know, winning the fight on his own, right? Like he gets the last couple of eliminations, and so they win the fight, but they lose the war, right? Because then it's Poyo left as a solo. It was always going to be a tough one from that point in the game to clutch it up. Even though we know Poyo can, you know, have a clutch or two in him, I think the big thing again is.
Τι απόδοση δίνει ότι άμα ήταν Έλληνες θα έπαιζαν μπουνιές τώρα.
Εγώ
είπα ρε, έδωσα κομ. Λέω, αν τα e-sports ήταν Ολυμπιακός, Παναθηναϊκός, ΠΑΟΚ, ΑΕΚ, κουλουπού, οι μεγάλες ομάδες της Ελλάδας και να είχαν πάρει παίχτες, ξέρω εγώ, από. Όχι μόνο στο Fortnite, παντού στα e-sports λέω ρε. Θα ήταν top content μαλάκες. Να πηγαίνανε εκεί τρελάκιδες, Ολυμπιακοί, Παναθηναϊκοί, ΠΑΟΚτζίδες, ΑΕΚτζίδες, όλοι ρε. Της πουτάνας θα γινότανε, μπρο. Καπνογόνα, το ένα το άλλο, αλλά σε ανοιχτά στάδια λογικά. Αλλά ναι. Καλά, εντάξει, οι Έλληνες νομίζω και στα κλειστά θα το κάνανε τα καπνογόνα.
Things just kind of fell apart. I do agree, though. Knowing this trio, I do feel like it's first game jitters. Right again, this crowd takes things to a little bit of a different level. So I'm expecting a strong bounce back in game number 2, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that play in particular you mentioned is interesting, right? Because we know in a Fizz Crash Pad meta, you know,
by the way, my guess,
making...
δεν ξέρω αν το έχετε δει, το 300 map έχει πάει worldwide, Μπαίνουνε ξένοι, Ισπανοί, Μεξικάνοι, Πακιστανοί, όλοι, bro. Όλοι μπαίνουνε μέσα, μαλάκες. Respect, Worldwide 300C. Let's fucking get it, boys. W map.
Guys of the lobby. And so when you walk into a lobby like this, you have a lot of players who might not give you that type of respect.
Ναι, ενώ στο μπάσκετ που είναι κλειστό ντρέπονται. Αυτό λέω, bro. Οι Έλληνες παντού καπνογόνα, στον μπούτσο τους.
The standings, we had 2 Brazilian teams in the top 10.
Σου είπα ότι πέτυχα Γερμανό και τον έβριζα. Μάλακα, πώς το μπούτσο πήγε worldwide όμως, bro. Μου έχουν πει ότι έχουν δει Ιταλούς, Γερμανούς, Ισπανούς μέχρι στιγμής.
Every single time we kind of saw them kind of make it to the end game, they were always as a trio. They do such a good job of making it to the end game as a trio, right? They'll kind of make it around to like that 10th place in the game, and then continuing after that, it's kind of the development that they need. But hey, top 10 right now, pretty good.
And Dev.
Right now, that was just.
Chill, boys. Nice.
What's up?
Nice.
There's ever been. All these teams that are here had to be the top of the competition.
そうですね。それはやっぱ世界で一番。
People get better every single year.
This lobby feels super stacked. 7 CS. I heard there's over 140 FNCS wins.
Over 12 games, really the best players are going to come out. There's a lot more respected players.
Μα γιατί είναι τόσο καυλωμένοι, bro. Τι φάση.
Οι Γάλλοι είναι τρελοί, ρε.
Cold's team. Αλλά είναι συνθήματα, bro.
Ναι, ρε, είναι τρελοί οι Γάλλοι.
Crazy,
عندي تيم بويو وايكورن وايجرز من افضل الاتيام اللي موجوده بالجلوبال.
Poyo's team is such a threat because they've been on top of the scene throughout the past year.
Acorn is probably the greatest IGL of all time. He's so smart and just knows what to do in any situation.
You got like the EU goats, Taze and Queasy. Queasy's just like, he's a veteran, always making the right calls and just finds all the young prodigies to help him up to the top.
Then Vino's team, I think.
Okay.
They're like the NA version of Cold's team, so like they're all individually good.
Looking at a player like Flixi, I think he has just everything. He has good aim, good mechanics, he's smart.
I think Canada Rapid Bolt's probably going to be like a very underdog team.
They have really good chemistry as a trio.
Vanyak, Marios and Pixie.
They got third, first and third.
Δεν μπορώ το Vanyak, bro. Είναι έτσι, ρε γάμο τη μάνα.
Ο Vanyak είναι γάμισέτα.
Team that I think will do good is Pix, Demus and Darm.
I think Kami might surprise everyone, because he has an on-con spot. I think he's gonna do well.
The top teams are way better.
Okay, ο Σέτι δίνει respect στον Gami.
From every single region.
I'm not surprised Dark Horse top 10 team would probably be Ruse Trio.
Ξέρεις τι βίντεο πρέπει να κάνεις, bro.
Τι?
From the Brazil region, I
Κάνεις
think
tier list από τον πιο NPC στο λιγότερο NPC.
Alex Astria is the best I've seen.
Ποιος είναι πιο NPC, θα με κάνουν cancel οι Epic Games, δεν ξαναμπω εκεί πέρα.
We'll see what he has to bring.
He's been getting a lot of hype, but like it honestly still might not be enough.
All the Asia boys, like they're nuts.
Ο πιο άνθρωπος νομίζω είναι ο Cold εκεί μέσα, ρε φίλε.
All the people that have
Και ο Savage.
really deserve to qualify.
Ναι, και ο Savage. Καλά, στο fanboy, αλλά...
Everything like before this has definitely led up to this.
We got here against all odds. We made it.
We're gonna definitely put on a show.
Και ο Seti κομπλέ είναι. Σαν Goblin Giant είναι, αλλά... Πάλι 3 λεπτά, πω κάτι έχουν λούσει γάματα μαλάκες με τα κράσις λογικά, φτιάχνουν τα κράσις.
Bro, ο άλλος πώς τρώει κράσις ρε μαλάκα.
3 κράσ φάγανε νομίζω, από ό,τι είπανε.
Μαλάκα δεν τρώω κράσι σπίτι μου, bro. Είναι απαράδεκτο να τρως κράσι στα globals.
Ρε, απαράδεκτο είναι το να μην έχει τέτοιο, reconnect button. Αλήθεια. Δες εδώ μεταξύ σε τι μονιτοράρες παίζουνε μαλάκα. Δες σε τι μονιτοράρες παίζουνε. Αυτά κάνουν 800 ευρώ μαλάκα, το πιστεύεις.
Τον τρελός τα πόντος. Να είσαι ποδοσφαιριστής και να σου δίνουν σκασμένη μπάλα μαλάκα να παίξεις.
Ναι, γάμισα τα.
Τα κράσια αυτά.
Αλλά έχουν καλά τέτοια bro. Έχουν πολύ καλούς χορηγούς μαλάκα. Τα globals. Εδώ περίμενα να έχει τόσο καλούς χορηγούς. Έχουν Volvic Juice, αυτό εδώ πέρα τα Black Light, τις καρέκλες.
Ναι.
Και Zoe τέτοιο, monitors. Πάρα πολύ καλούς χορηγούς. Στα προηγούμενα είχαν μόνο το Black Light, αυτό εδώ πέρα, τις καρέκλες. Όχι πάλι, θα φάμε copyright γάμο τη μάνα σου.
Ναι, κλείτο.
Όπα ρε. Ιάκωβος Βενέτης, Χρήστος Αρβανίτης, Ζήσης Μπίλιας, Fortnite Destiny YT, ευχαριστούμε για το subscribe, μαλάκες. Όλοι μαζί κάνατε ρε. Ευχαριστούμε. God bless. Αλλά μαλάκα όντως είναι crazy. Από τον ελληνικό blackout όπως πέρσι, καλύτερα να αργούν λίγο. Μαλάκα, ναι, πέρσι τσίτο ήσουν εδώ πέρα ή όχι, το βλέπεις. Πάθανε blackout.
Κάνανε 3 ώρες τέτοιο.
Blackout. Ναι ρε, τα έκλεισαν όλα, σβήσανε.
Made τέτοιο.
Ναι ρε, πού ήταν, στην Αμερική. Blackout μαλάκα. Και ο τέτοιος, και στρίμαρε πώς το λένε, ο Μπάκι μόνος του, IRL, αλλά έδειχνε την κάμερα, ξέρω εγώ,
Στάδιο.
Ναι, το στάδιο. Και είχε φτάσει 50.000 άτομα για να δουν τι γίνεται.
Μαλάκα, τρελό.
Bill K κάτι τέτοιο, αλλά τα λεφτά είναι πολύ λίγα σε σχέση με το World Cup που λες. Αλλά το crowd, το πώς είναι στημένο και τα λοιπά είναι πολύ καλύτερο αυτό.
Πολύ καλό στημένο global, όντως.
Όντως. Από τα καλύτερα πιστεύω που έχουν γίνει. Μακάρι να δούμε και ένα πολύ ωραίο win.
Εμένα μου αρέσει που είναι hyped, bro. Δεν έχω ξαναδεί e-sports βασικά τόσο hyped γενικά.
Όχι ρε. Αν έβλεπες καθόλου LOL γίνεται της πουτάνας και εκεί πέρα.
Δεν την έχω δει καθόλου.
Η LOL γίνεται από παντού της πουτάνας.
Let's go.
Goes in the way of Kanata, Rapid, and Volt. An explosive pop-off from not only in-game from Kanata himself, and now he's start to continue the competition now. There is a small...
Στο CS εντωμεταξύ, ξέρεις, δεν είναι και family friendly και τα λοιπά, δεν καταλαβαίνεις τι βρίσκεται πέφτουνε.
And we'll get back into all of the action. Let's continue talking about what we saw out of game number 1. Mr. Savage having that moment to pop off. That's what I love to see, and I love
Editάρει λίγο Savage που είχε πει ότι θα κάνει Twitter, φίλε, τώρα δεν ξέρω.
Ολόκληρο βιντεάκι κάναμε για αυτόν και έκανε globals. Άσε με, μαλάκα.
Before we analyze the gameplay, one thing I love, right, is we obviously have a very passionate crowd with us here.
Yeah.
And so, you know, obviously they have all their cheers and they love, but they also have a couple boos in them, right? You know, they weren't showing love to everyone.
Χαριφαλάκι, ευχαριστούμε για το sub.
I love how they still had
5 λεπτά. Ωραία, μαλάκα, πάλι yapping.
personality Fortnite player of all time. Like they didn't care that he's not actually on MA. They were just like, we love Mr. Savage.
Yeah, that guy, we love him.
Yeah, we love him.
Ναι, Βλάντι, και εγώ πιστεύω κάμια Γερμανία να γίνει καλά. Μετά από αυτό εδώ πέρα το crowd, άμα το ξανακάνουν Αμερική, είναι πολύ ηλίθιοι, μπρο. Είναι πάρα πολύ ηλίθιοι αν το ξανακάνουν Αμερική. Γιατί αυτό εδώ πέρα είναι το πιο όμορφο πράγμα που μπορείς να δεις σε ένα E-sport. Αυτό. Να υπάρχει κοινό το οποίο να είναι έτσι σαν τρελάκιδες, bro. Άμα το κάνουν πάλι στην Αμερική θα έχει το πιο dead crowd, μαλάκα. Δεν έχω ξαναδεί πιο dead crowd στην Αμερική πέρσι.
Πέρσι πρόπερσι που ήταν ένα, που είχε νικήσει ο Κούπερ νομίζω ήταν ένα.
Καλά, αυτό ήταν το πιο. Όχι, υπήρχε και πιο dead νομίζω. Να ξέρεις. Αυτό μαλάκα δεν το ξέρετε πότε έγινε. Ήταν το 22, νομίζω το 23.
At the last second, right, preventing that from happening, but boom, kind of proves himself uncontested and early on, fourth place.
I mean, it feels weird. Times are changing, man. As an EU veteran myself, I'm not used to seeing Mr. Savage uncontested, you know, so many times. I mean, we had it in Major 3, now we get at the Global Championships. We're being spoiled, actually, because you're spot on with it. I mean, for years, we have just had to deal with him being contested, no matter what, right? And so it's nice to see him get a shot to just build a strategy, play out the game, and he's got two great players by his side. I mean, Reason, of course, another just veteran and legend of EU, and then you have you know, Star who popped off a lot last year, back on this stage now, and he started off really well.
I love too that as Chap has been getting here, so many other pros are like dapping him up, showing him love, right, giving him kind of that respect.
Ναι, Βλάντι, ξεκάθαρα, bro, πας καλά.
Hasn't really been a thing for some reason. Now, you did mention
that he's
uncontested.
Ναι, ο Μπούγκα νομίζω είναι το πρώτο του Global που δεν έχει κάνει.
Κακός παίκτης ο Μπούγκα.
Ναι ρε, πολύ κακός.
Για μένα όντως all time favorite πρέπει να είναι ο Tayson ρε φίλε. Δεν ξέρω αν είναι πάντα εκεί.
Άμα το πας έτσι ρε μαλάκα, ο Μάν είναι ο Κανάντα.
Και ο Κανάντα όντως. Κανάντα μαλάκα δεν ήξερα ότι είναι ακόμα ανεβασμένος bro.
Ο Κανάντα αδερφέ...
Το πέτυχε τώρα στο Twitch να έχει ξέρω εγώ 100 viewers και να παίζει τώρα Fortnite.
Ο Κανάντα είναι ο πιο... Έχει κάνει όλα τα FNCS Finals Grands. Όλα, από την αρχή του game. Ναι, όντως. Εντάξει, 100 άτομα με τίποτα, 1000 άτομα μπορεί να έχει, ναι.
Έτσι όταν βλέπω τον βλέπω 200 άτομα, 300 εκεί max.
Δεν ξέρω.
Loving these M8 players, and of course, you know, again, this is just game number 1, so I don't want to get like crazy and be like, oh man, things are bad.
Δεν θα έχουν βάλει ατζέντα αντί του Peterbot, τι φάση ρε.
Μαλάκα τον έχουν γαμίσει, ναι,
τον δείχνουνε, τον γιουχάρουνε, τι φάση ρε.
Α, όχι ατζέντα. Μπορεί να μην τον βάλανε να μιλήσει γιατί είχε πει και το συμβάν που είχε γίνει με τον Peterbot.
Ω, παίζει όντως. Για sponsors και τέτοια να...
Ναι.
Ναι, σωστός. Να το ζήτησαν τα sponsors. Crazy, κι αν πάρει win δεν θα μιλήσω, φύγει.
Honestly, though, I mean, listen, they did, you know, kind of like well enough. They got some experience going through this game, survived Storm Surge, made it to the end game. Fell a little bit short when it kind of got to the later zones, but still kind of making it there. It's looking good.
I mean, for all my EU enjoyers, this is a typical Malabuka Watts ping game, right? They are synonymous with making it to the end game, one of them just going down, and then it has to be a dual clutch or a solo clutch. It's happened so often, and we've seen them have amazing seasons, right? Amazing finals where they finish, you know, in the top 3, or, you know, almost winning that time.
Γιατί κάτι έγινε λάθος λογικά, Venus.
Right? So, again, if we're looking at maybe...
Αλλά μαλάκα δες κόσμο, bro, είναι γεμάτο μαλάκα. Γεμάτο.
In those situations, though, where they are able to stay all three of them as a trio, that's been when we've seen some of the best performances from any team this year, right? So hopefully they can stay a bit more tight knit.
Βασικά,
that's interesting. Yeah,
δεν θυμάμαι, νομίζω όχι.
Obviously, again, this is just game 1, right? We haven't seen
those
solo clutches, right? Nada's trio coming out in that end game moment as a full trio.
No.
But like in NA, think about how many, even in EU, right? How many times we see these solo clutch moments? You're thinking, what is this player doing alive? It's just them. There's no way, man. Oh, they went out to win the game. Oh, they clutched a top 3, right? Like, but so far it's looked like, you know, if something goes wrong and that trio, a member goes down, that's it. They're all kind of following.
Well, I mean, that's what makes solo clutches so special because you do not see them all the time, right? That's when
they
do happen, everybody gets excited.
Μα δεν πάει κανείς ρε, δεν είναι καλά.
Solo clutches will play a very big part in who actually ends up winning after 12 games. You just have to.
King Tation has returned. Ισχύει, αλλά είναι ακόμα πρώτο game, boys. Έχουμε άλλα 5 games.
Ποιες ομάδες μεγαλικές?
Η M8 και η Havoc, αλλά αυτή όλος ο κόσμος είναι η M8. Όλος έχει φέρει ντουντούκα, μαλάκα, το πιστεύεις?
Σημαίες, μαλάκα, όλος έχει φέρει τυπώς τη μούρη του άλλου. Είναι το green shoots, ρε μαλάκα.
Είναι το σλόγγαν της M8.
From all different regions where solo clutching was, the key to a team being able to get over the edge. If you have players on your team who you are confident they can deliver you and get you some extra points as a solo, you are well in with a chance of winning this whole thing.
I love that breakdown. That's
Δεν τον κάνει άλλος.
like.
Και είναι μεγάλη, δεν είναι μικρή μαλακά.
Ναι, είναι crazy, βέβαια, αυτό δεν το ξαναδεί όντως.
Είναι μαλάκα μεγάλη, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. Crazy.
Game 1 ended in Canada win, that's pretty crazy, but it kind of felt subdued. It's kind of like the calm before the storm. Am I misreading the situation?
Bro, Bevan, Zeke is not entertained.
Whoa,
he's
I didn't say that.
That's what you're saying, bro. He's like, dude, game 1 was terrible. Bro. I don't want to ever see a game like that ever again. There's no solo clutches. Like last year's Glow was just better. Bro, that game was good.
Listen,
it had everything we. You are saying that. It had everything we wanted, bro. The structure, right? Finding out what teams are kind of.
Αυτό εδώ με το Fortnite.
Το footer, ναι.
Αμάει, bro.
For the rest of the 11 games. I'm excited, and Zeke's disappointing me with it.
Now I know why they have to put Kelly in between you two, to keep you two apart. It's gonna be outside. No, I'd agree with it. I feel like there was a lot of the beats that we sort of expect to see out of a lot of players. I would say though, I do think it does get crazier. Like, don't get me wrong. I do think there's a couple levels that we can ramp up to in terms of just like some crazy.
Όπω μαλάκα μου μπροστά τα αρχίδια μου, low-key.
That's one thing we've seen a lot of this year in Fortnite. I want to see some just like.
Θα πήγαινες με τέτοιο footer για καφέ με την. Εννοείται, μπας κλειτής στην πουτσα λες, bro. Αυτό είναι ώρα.
Δεν σε δω του Fortnite, ρε μαλάκες.
Εδώ έχω τα του Fortnite, τύπου στο μπούτσο μου λες, bro.
Crazy twist of Spawn, because as much as we've seen these couple of teams say, yeah, we're not leaving, we're going to keep fighting on Spawn, at a certain point you do have to start looking in the mirror, maybe that doesn't happen quite on day one. I think maybe a lot of the times you just ride things out day one, but going into day two for sure it ramps up.
Okay, all right. Do we think the Storm Surge kind of played a big factor in that last game? Felt like a little, for some trios it was totally okay. For other trios it felt.
Παίζει να είναι η πιο δύσκολη δουλειά του να είσαι caster στην Epic Games, bro. Τόσο προεξαρχιτισμό και yapping πρέπει να κάνουν respect.
Makes it very, very hard, right? Because we actually didn't see it active until the threshold was at 64 players, which I believe is around.
Μαλάκα πας λιγότερος, bro.
Actually pretty late into the game, so those all spawn fights, all those early engagements.
Εντάξει, αυτοί παίζει να μην έχουν ιδέα από το game.
Όχι, ο Vivid έπαιζε. Ο Vivid έπαιζε το game. Ναι, ήταν competitive αυτής. Ο άλλος, ο ψηλός, δεν ξέρω, απλά κάνει caster από πολύ παλιά. Αυτός, ο άλλος αριστερά, είναι και αυτός πολύ παλιά.
Οκ.
Τι γίνεται, μπρο! Δεν μπορώ άλλο, ρε! Έλα, παλάκα το ρίξω, μαλάκες. Αγάμηθείτε, ρε. Κάτι πρέπει να λούστηκε γάματα, γάμω την πουτάνα. Ναι, όντως. Τι το μίλα λίγο στο chat, ρε μαλάκα. Πάω να το ρίξω γάμω την πουτάνα μου.
Τι 12 λεπτά, βρε μαλάκα.
12 λεπτά, μαλάκα. Μας έχουν καβλαντήσει γάματα, μαλάκα, γάμω το σπίτι μου.
Προσπαθώ κάτι 2 ώρα, κάτι τέτοια. Crazy shit. Μάγκης, εγώ τον Πόγιο, ρε φίλε, θέλω να νικήσει. Ο Πόγιο θέλω να νικήσει. Από παλιά. Από εκεί που νίκησε τα ντουός με τον άλλο το Καριόλι. Τον Πέτρο. Ήταν humble, ρε φίλε. Μ' αρέσουν οι humble τύποι σαν τον Πόγιο. Μόνο Πόγιο, ρε. Μαλάκες. Citation. Και κάνεις παλιός, ρε φίλε. Δηλαδή, ας πούμε, ο Savage θα ήταν πολύ ωραία να νικήσει, ρε φίλε, αλλά σκολαδί. Και ο τέτοιος ο Κανάντα. Έμπαινες ring με Peter. Θα τον σκότωνα, ρε μαλάκες. Θα με κάνει full piece βασικά, θα με κάνει full box. Dead. Μάκης, εντάξει, καλός και ο Peter ποτέ φίλε, αλλά δεν ξέρω. Πόγιο. Τον γαμίσει τη μάνα το hype που είχαν. Εντάξει. Μαλάκες, αλλά πολύ καυλωμένοι, bro. Δεν ξέρω, πολύ καυλωμένοι, ρε φίλε. Γουστάρω full. Σαν να σε γήπεδο, σαν να βλέπεις μπάλα, μαλάκα είναι απ' πίσω οι άλλοι, ρε. Τσίλβεργ. Σιγά σιγά. Ο Μόγκρελ γάμισε τα, μπρο. Γάμισε τα, ο Γκόουτ έχει πέσει.
Μαλάκα, όντως ο Μόγκρελ έχει πέσει γάματα. Δεν ξέρω γιατί έπεσε τόσο. Δηλαδή, έκανε τρελό comeback. Είχε τρελούς viewers στην αρχή όταν έκανε comeback, αλλά μετά κάτι έλουσε.
Εντάξει, winning in life, ρε φίλε.
Σίγουρα. Εντάξει, οκ, σίγουρα. Καλά. Εντάξει, Λάμπο δεν έχει. Τι είπες? Τι μην το ξαναπείς αυτό, μπρο, στο στρέμου. Το ξανά στο στρέμου. Αυτές οι μαλακίες. Τον ηλίθιο.
Πώς γίνεται να μην πέρασες, αφού με τρόπαρε ο Τσίλης, ρε μάκης. Εντάξει, λογικό.
Μαλακίες λες, αφού παίζεις.
Θα είχαμε πάει εκεί, μπρο.
Καλά είμαι
απλά
σίγουρος.
με τρόπαρες.
Καλά είμαι. Low key, αν παίζαμε μαζί, νομίζω θα κάναμε Qual Globals.
Ναι ρε, πλέον μαλοκάραμε, παίζαμε Kovacs το πρωί, όλη μέρα, practice, Noble. Ξέρεις που τα πηγαίναμε, μπρο.
Εντάξει, τώρα μην τα λες τώρα.
Λίγο πιν καλύτερο, εντάξει τώρα.
Γιατί ποράνε μερικοί, να ξέρεις, επειδή είμαστε τόσο καλοί γι' αυτό.
Ισχύει.
Ειδικά
Εντάξει,
εσύ
λογικό είναι.
είσαι crazy στο game.
Λογικό.
Θα είσαι ο καλύτερος fragger, low key. Εγώ θα έκανα απλά tarp και θα έπαιρνες όλα τα kills. Peter Bot και μαλακίες.
Απλά θα ήμουν από πίσω, ρε φίλε, θα έπαιρνα kills τώρα παντού.
Θα ήσουν ο man και εγώ θα ήμουν αυτός εδώ πέρα, ο τέτοιος, φάση αυτός που θα σου κάνει το tarp, ρε φίλε, να σου κάνει την ζωή εύκολη.
Αυτό. Και να σου δίνω μάτς μετά.
Ναι, ναι.
Είδα το minigun του Κανάντα εγώ.
Ναι, όχι, εσύ θα έχεις το κανονικό το AR, bro. Εγώ θα είχα το minigun. Εσύ πρέπει να παίξεις fight, να παίζεις ξύλο. Καταλαβες, shotgun εκεί πέρα. 200 piece, 200 pump out piece. Καταλαβες. Ίσως θα ήμουν ο Bolts, ας πούμε. Εγώ θα ήμουν όχι ο Κανάντα, θα ήμουν ο άλλος, ο Rapid που κάνει το tarp κτλ. Δεν θα κοιτούσα για kill εγώ. Εσύ θα ήσουν εκεί πέρα.
Εγώ θα ήμουν ο Bolts.
Αλλά για τρίτο ποιο θα είχαμε?
Για τρίτο νομίζω το Greg, ρε φίλε, εγώ θα ήθελα. Να μας έχει τα heals, ξέρεις, να μας βλέπει εκεί, να λέει.
Οκ. Σαν φάση. Όπως εκείνη η ταινία, ρε φίλε, με τον στρατιώτη που πήγε στον πόλεμο και δεν είχε όπλο. Ναι, δεν ήθελε όπλο. Ήταν
ο γιατρός.
Ήταν ο γιατρός, οκ. Θα είχαμε τον γιατρό, ξέρω εγώ. Το Ρίο.
Στο τέλος πήρε αυτό το μεγαλύτερο respect, ρε φίλε.
Με το Ρίο θα ήμασταν, δηλαδή, θες να μου πεις.
Με το Ρίο, τρίο.
Αλλά ο γιατρός. Μας έκανε τα heals.
Εδώ με τον γιατρό.
Ωπου μαλάκα. Nice.
Θα παίρναμε κλειστά, θα βρίζατε και θα μας λέει γιατί βρίζουμε. Γιατί βρίζετε.
Εκεί πέρα, μαλάκα, εγώ θα τα έλεγα όλα, ρε. Αν έπαιρνα win εκεί πέρα, let's fucking go. Το fucking θα το έλεγα 24/7, ρε. Θα με κάνανε mute.
Αν έλεγες μόνο αυτό, κομπλέ.
Θέλω να πάει ένας Έλληνας εκεί πέρα, μπρο, και να πει σας γάμισα, ξέρω εγώ. Κάτι τέτοιο. In Greece we say τσιμπούκι. Κάτι τέτοιο, τέλος πάντων, κατάλαβες.
Δεν δίνουνε, μπρο, δεν είναι μαγκωμένοι, ρε, μπρο. Θα μπορούσαν να τους καπλαντήσουν τώρα, φουλ εκεί.
Ναι, ρε, φουλ, γάμισα τα.
Οι μπόμπιρες.
Μαλάκα, φαντάσου να σκάγαμε εμείς εκεί πέρα, μπρο, έτσι. Φάση walk. Πρώτον, εμείς θα σκάγαμε με κουστούμι, full, έτσι, James Bond φάση και θα σε είχαν βάσει φάση πάνω μου, κατάλαβες. Θα είχαμε τρελό entrance, αδερφέ. Κάτι θα κάναμε σίγουρα.
Γιατί μου το λες αυτό τώρα, μπρο, και καβλώνω. Άρχισα να παίζω Fortnite τώρα, μπρο.
Τι θες τώρα, μαλάκα, να γρανιάρουμε να πάμε FNCS.
Τώρα γιατί μου τα λες τώρα, να παίξουμε και να πάμε globals.
Ρε μαλάκα, τώρα τι να σου πω. Σου λέω την αλήθεια, μπρο. Ή το πολύ το κάνουμε στο Warzone εμείς. Klein, το ίδιο πράγμα.
Το 250.
Ρε μαλάκα, και μετά μας καλέσουν εκεί πέρα στα globals του Warzone και θα τους γαμίσουμε τη μάνα, την πουτάνα.
Έχει, λες να έχει.
Δεν θα έχει, ρε μαλάκα, κάτι.
Globals Warzone, πόρε, πούστε.
Γράφω rap song, αδερφέ, μάθε να γράφεις πρώτα πώς γράφετε το γράφω. Ηλίθιε, ζεν. Να μην πω την άλλη λέξη. Πουτάνα γε. Θες να γράψεις κιόλας μαλάκα τραγούδι και δεν ξέρεις να γράφεις ελληνικά, ηλίθιε. Γράφω με όμικρον. Μπράβο, brother. Πολύ ωραία θα γράψεις. Μαλάκα, ο Zen νομίζω πως είναι όντως ένα test drive της γης, κατάλαβες. Φάση είναι σαν NPC full. Τον έχει φτιάξει κάποιος από το διάστημα και τον έχει στείλει εδώ πέρα για να μας παίζει την πουτσα και να λέει μαλαγίες. Να δούμε πώς θα αντέξουμε. Μας κάνει limit test, κατάλαβες.
Και τον έχει κάνει και σαν βλάκα έτσι να μπορεί να νευριάσει μαζί του, ρε φίλε.
Ναι, σαν πατάτα.
Του δώσει μια πατάτα εκεί, ναι.
Και του γαμούσε και την.
Ρε μαλάκα τώρα.
Ω, μαλάκα κάμπε, τι στην μπούτσα, μπρο. Γιατί το πες αυτό. Του κάμπε το διάβασα, μπρο, αυτό το comment. Γιατί να το πεις αυτό, κάμπε. Μαλάκα.
Αυτά τα λέει ο κάμπε και στην μπούτσα του, βαρύ έτσι.
Ναι, στα αρχίδια του όλα, 500 άτομα στα αρχίδια του, μπούτσα του. Μαλάκα. Μαλάκα, Ζεν, τι violation, ρε, τέλος, μη μιλάς. Όχι, ρε, μαλάκα.
Την φορά το κινητό μου σε 300 άτομα, μια χαρά.
Την άλλη φορά έκανε leak το ονόματα βασικά του.
Ναι, όλοι καλά, εντάξει.
Τα έχουμε φάει. Έχουμε φάει dogs από την πουτάρα μου.
Digital footprint, μαλάκα.
Να ξέρετε, real, του έχω την κόμενα που το απατάει.
Δεν σου λέω κάπου, μπρο.
Ο Κάμπερ, μαλάκα, τα 80 άτομα επειδή μπαίνει πρώτος, κατάλαβες. Πότε δεν έχω 80 άτομα. Τα stats είναι 170 average, έτσι λέει Κάμπερ. Το machine, έτσι γράφει. Δεν ξέρω γιατί πονάσει κάτι, γιατί πας να παίξεις πουστιά σε μένα ενώ μπορώ να σε γαμίσω με ένα Σλάβια, να πω. Σλάβια. Ποδόσφαιρο. Παίζεις. Δεν παίζεις. Δεν ξέρω γιατί να το πεις αυτό. Ο Ζεν τρελάθηκε, ρε. Είπε να τον απαντάει με μένα γιατί δεν έχει ομάδα πλέον. Και δεν έχει λεφτά. Μαλάκα, πήγαινε εκεί και βάλε prediction please. Μετά το δεύτερο game. Τώρα δεν ξέρω πότε θα είναι το δεύτερο game. Legit. Θα δούμε το δεύτερο και μετά πάμε kick. Αλλά μαλάκα έχει αργήσει ήδη πάρα πολύ, bro. Έχουμε δει τη φάτσα του Colt 150 φορές, μαλάκα.
Κάνει fanboy για αυτός λίγο έτσι, δεν ξέρω.
Δες, ο Colt πιστεύω πήρε λίγα κιλάκια παραπάνω από όσα πρέπει. Έχει πολύ... σαν αυγουλάκι είναι η φάτσα του εδώ πέρα. Τα μάγουλά του, bro. Πολύ μεγάλα μάγουλα.
Δεν Κινέζοι.
Ασιάτες είναι.
Κογιώτα.
Κογιώτα Ασιάτης, δες το να σκάει σαν άνιμε, μπρο. Θα βάλουμε prediction για το ποιος πιο καλά την go, εγώ, ο Τσίλης ή ο Τσίτο. Κάμπε. Γιατί τρελάθηκες έτσι, ρε μαλάκα.
Τι έπαθε ο άλλος,
μαλάκα, ένα πράγμα σου που κάμπε και τρελάθηκες, αδερφέ. Σε τρέλανε, Πω, μαλάκα.
Rage Bait at its finest,
Μαλάκα, τρελό, μπρο. Ήταν πολύ βαρύ, καλά ισχύει αυτό. Και τώρα ξέρεις τι είναι πιο βαρύ. Πιο βαρύ είναι ότι δεν το απαντάει ο κάμπε, μπρο. Ωραία, μαλάκα. Άντε 1 λεπτό. Ελπίζω ο Μάγκης μετά το 1 λεπτό να μην έχει άλλα 3 λεπτά. Πόσο σύνολο έχουμε κάτσει, bro?
5. 30.
Μαλάκα, Παναγία μου. Στο μπούτσο είναι αυτός.
Πολύ σύντομα, Μπιλσκού. Συνεχίζει μαλάκα ο Ζεν. Τρελάθηκε, μπρο. Ηρέμησε, Ζεν.
Ασήκω ότι την κάνω την πολύ πουτσα μπάσκλιν, αλλά με τραβάει μέσα ενώ δεν αχόρταγε. Μαλάκα, τρελάθηκε. Ρε, σταμάτα, Ζεν, σταμάτα, ρε.
Σταμάτα, ρε, μαλάκα, λίγο.
Μαλάκα, σε τρέλα, μπρο. Ηρέμησε, ρε, μαλάκα. Ηρέμησε. Τρελάκια. Είσαι τρελός, αδερφέ. Κωνσταντίνε, ευχαριστούμε για το subscribe, φίλε μου. Τσατάρα, φτάστε 1000 likes, boys. Κάντε όλοι likes όσοι έχουμε κάνει, μαλάκες. Μην ξεχνάτε, Ζεν, δεν έχεις κάνει like σίγουρα, bro. Πάντα like. Γιαννάρας με το μονόμπαλο. God bless. Έχω κάνει... Οκ. Θες τι άλλο θα κάνω? Οχ. Πάμε.
Let's go. Finally.
Gift-sub Γιάννης! Και 2,5 ευρώ και 1 ευρώ. Κάτσε ρε μαλέξ όλοι μαζί, τι γίνεται μπρο. 1 ευρώ κάμπε και 2,5 ευρώ Ζεν. Οκ.
Έβαλε Ζεν τέτοιο χέρι στην τσέπη,
Είχα 2,57 λέει. Αυτό που είπες μ' άγγιξε στην καρδιά αδερφέ Ζεν. Μου έδωσε τα τελευταία σου 2 ευρώ μπρο. Σε ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
So unbelievable. What's the crowd here? Quelle ambiance ici à Lyon. Vous l'avez vu. On a pris un peu trop tard.
Μαλάκα, γιατί οι Γάλλοι δεν μπορούν να μιλήσουν αγγλικά, μπρο. Έχω ακούσει μόνο έναν Γάλλο ο οποίος έχει μιλήσει καλά αγγλικά.
Tout le week-end, dans quelques secondes, à peine la game numéro 2 va démarrer. Vous l'avez vu.
Ο Κάμπε λέει, απαντάει σε Ζεν. Έχω άμα θες κας, πολύ κας. Και ο Κάμπε απαντάει, τα αρχίδια μου έχεις.
De ce classement après la game numéro 1. Il en reste encore 11 au total, 5. Aujourd'hui, la route est encore longue. On est encore très loin de connaître le grand vainqueur de ce trophée.
Γιατί μιλάνε γαλλικά, μπρο, με κριτζάρι γάματα.
Guys, to back to the analyst desk.
Let's go, Benji! Let's go, Benji! That's what I like to see, baby. Man, we are back and we're getting ready any moment now. We're gonna get word, we're gonna jump back into the action. I did appreciate one thing though, obviously.
Κάνε Πολ, περίμενε μπρο, μετά. Μετά έχουμε.
We kind of had a moment now, players kind of taking a moment, stepping away. We have a chance to like talk with someone.
Γνώμη για Sneak και Elite 33, μα λέγα αυτό το είδα σήμερα στο TikTok, μόνο that's it. Ακραίο. Δεν κατάλαβα καν τι έγινε, φοροδιαφυγή έκανε, κάτι δεν κατάλαβα. Αλλά είναι legit.
Listen, I just hope that it doesn't cool anybody down, right? You want to kind of keep that momentum going for any of the teams that are kind of doing good. We'll have to see if it actually ends up impacting anybody. But hey, maybe some other teams kind of finding this beneficial, right? A little bit of a break. Maybe they went down early, kind of a little bit of a reset. But yeah, I mean, hey, listen, pauses like this, not what you want to see, but hey, sometimes rolling with the punches is what makes the best.
Σε 35 λεπτά θα είναι η πίτσα μου, λες να έχει αρχίσει το δεύτερο game. Λίγο νωρίς, bro. Πες να τη φάση να έχετε αρχίσει, να ξέρεις. Ρούμελ με το μονόπαλο. Πού είσαι Ρούμελ, τι κάνουμε αγόρνα. Μπήκαμε μάγκες ο Θεός. Ω, τσιψαρό, πάντε. Τι Game 1 ρε. Τι γράφουνε ρε.
Δεν είναι start.
Game 1 έγραφε ο άλλος στο πρώτο στα τέτοια. Τα φάιλαραν.
Yeah, it was 9 eliminations. And the interesting thing out of them all, they're not even the team in first place. It's the Rangers Ruin off-spawn winners from game number 1, Tayson, Chicho, and Haris. And honestly, it's not going to be that easy all day long between these.
Μετά θα πάμε kick που θα έχει διαφημίσεις, Ζεν, μην αγχώνεσαι. Χωρίς διαφημίσεις στο kick, μαγκές. Chill. Για να δούμε. Τζίτζικας. Τζίτζικα Station. Ναι, Τζίτζικα Station, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out, Station. Φόπο, βαρύ.
off-spawn battle, they were still able to find such a steady placement, steady eliminations. But again, they're not the only teams going head-to-head. Veno, Vico, and I'm seeing an eliminated Felixi along the way here at Canyon Crossing. Coyota's team still posing a massive threat.
I know we had a translator.
Πρώτη φορά, μαλάκες, νιώθω πως ο Peter Bot δεν είναι το main, δεν είναι το main stage. Γνώμη.
Δεν έχει spotlight καθόλου όντως.
Is what he was trying to tell the world, but this is how it all started off. Vico was able to get the first drop onto Yuma.
Πολύ κακό φίλε στην καριέρα αυτό, άμα είναι όντως αυτό που λες.
Ναι, σου λέω, αυτό παίζει να είναι.
They go 2 for 2, and now they got to make that conscious decision. Do you fight or do you split Canyons Crossing and try to get the reboots later?
Something a little bit more devious though, possibly taking place here with Clix and Yamzo. Higgs, following suit, Supernova Academy might just be claimed by these three, but Jacob, we saw so many teams. We didn't see that many surge bases in the first lobby. Almost have to wonder how many of these teams have been counter-stratting some of those surge partners and trying to...
Πάλι ο Peter Bot δεν έπεσε εκεί πέρα.
Αυτοί θα βρήκανε τέτοιο ρε.
Αυτός ο Μπόμπιρας, ο Victor V, πολύ καλός fighter, bro. Πολύ καλός fighter. Και παίζει με έναν στην ηλικία μου αυτός ο Paper.
Paper ρε.
Τι?
Τρελό μαλάκα ότι κάνει τέτοιο Paper.
Ναι ρε. Άντε να είναι ένα χρόνο μικρότερος ο Paper.
To get the drop onto Yuma yet again, so it was Coyota, it was Rise that went for that revive.
Και ο Epic Will είναι μεγάλος.
But the down is there yet again, but he gets dropped right back into their box. So Veno, Vico, their job is not done just yet. They still have to figure out where and when they're going to get these eliminations and how they're going to get Flixi back into the game, because the reboot ban, Taco is down there.
Still a massive advantage though for
Ποιος Ghost ρε μαλακάζεν.
Ohh!
Τι κάνουν ρε Peter Bot, Cycle.
They might just have to go head to head, but Cold, Peterbot, Ritual, they're taking more of a scenic route here, Jacob. They don't seem like they're going to stick to the same strategy through each of these lobbies. Everybody has to be on red alert, even though it didn't pan out in their favor.
Μαλάκα, τι κάνει ο Peter Bot, bro?
You can never count Peterbot out.
Yep, it looks like for game number 2, they had some time to talk about it, but they went ahead and spin that wheel. They said, where do you want to go next? And it looks like could be possibly over towards Foxy Floodgates. We don't know the exact drop, but we know where they have their focus at.
Το game έχει γίνει για την πίπα, μαλάκα, δες εδώ. Κάνουνε trade μόνο με αυτούς. Όχι, out trade, αυτό λέγεται search trade. Tradeάρουν search για να είναι above.
During game 1, saying this is a different vibe from Kanata, this major. This is a whole different feel during the global championship, and it's already.
Ο Fred Dox πατάει W.
Touch on that a little bit later on. Right now, we've got Fredoxy,
My goat.
Lingo, Gino. They found Yuma. They're looking to finish what Veno and Vico had started originally. Gino definitely getting the better end of that trade. Rise all down now for the count. Gino nearly falling, but
Τι έκανε το Coyota, bro? Πίπα.
Eliminations, and Gino holding strong here.
Μαλάκα.
Find the final piece of the puzzle, and that's going to be a clean sweep at
αυτός, bro?
Canyon Crossing.
And this is exactly.
Πολύ καλά. Αυτή είναι η προηγούμενη FNCS winner στο EU. Δηλαδή στο προηγούμενο FNCS νίκησαν. Πολύ καλή fighters ο T-Gino και ο Παύλο Wingo. Μου τις πάνε πολύ που κάνουν search trader έτσι.
Γιατί?
Knock πήρε ρε.
Γιατί της άρεσε?
Γιατί είναι σαν teaming. Δεν πατάνε W. Απλά κάνουν team για να είναι above στο search, καταλάβες.
Α, δεν ξέρω ότι κάνουν σαν team και λάθος.
Δηλαδή οι μόνοι που είναι άντρες είναι ο Fred Doxy. Δεν ξέρω ποιοι άλλοι. Άκου το πλάνο πως είναι. Ανεβαίνουν πάνω εκεί πέρα στις μαλακίες τους. Ο Quizzy φέρνει όλα τα hills από κάτω, όλα τα hills. Στην τελική θα κρατήσουν, ξέρω εγώ, 6 μήνες, 50 και τα λοιπά, αλλά φέρνει πάρα πολλά μήνες έτσι ώστε να tradeάρουν, καταλαβες.
Ναι, εδώ καταλάβει και το ποσό στο Καναδά.
What the fuck, τι κάνει αυτός ο Sneaky Golem? Ο Victor μαλάκα είναι locked, είναι. Μπράβο του, τον Μπομπίρα.
in this building, but he has to be a part of this loud crowd. And there's the second elimination onto Razo, and they're making sure they know it. Look, it doesn't matter, M8 or not, they're cheering for this young individual.
Can't help but think part of the success
Malaco,
that some of these teams are trying to claim, it does start with finding those early eliminations, even a knock, anything to kind of boost your confidence. But Art, someone who was definitely swinging throughout that first.
Αυτός ο Art λένε ότι είναι πολύ καλός fighter.
This is a difficult situation to tackle here. Kadu, Pisco, and Striker just continue trying to berate into these walls. They're not going to be able to break through the box just yet, but Southco from overhead.
Τσατάρα μου, πατήστε όλοι like να φτάσουμε 900 likes, μάγκες. Θέλουμε άλλα 70, sorry.
Striker's trio, a little bit trapped, and despite things looking slightly
Πακιστάν, όχι ρε βλάκα, ο Ark. Παίζει να είναι Πακιστάν. Όχι ρε, δεν είναι Πακιστάν. Αυτή είναι Βραζιλιάνοι ο Τίσκο και ο Κάντου και ο Striker. Middle East είναι ο Ark. Τι λέτε ρε μαλάκες. Πήγαινε να κάνω Mixon. NA West είναι ρε. NA είναι βρε μαλάκι, σας το λέω. Με κάνετε rage bait.
So many of these veterans here on land. We're looking at a ton of major winners, right? Even across the international stage. But Watch getting busy. Raito gonna be eliminated. And checking back now with Mixon, Upple, and Focus. They recognize there's still one more.
Περιμένετε, θα με τρελάνετε εσείς, bro. Πού είναι ο μαλάκας?
Πιο πάνω.
Τον είδες?
Ανέβα.
Κι άλλο. Ανάτι. Όχι. Να βρε μάλακες. NA West είναι. Middle East. NA West. Πρώτος το NA West είναι, bro. Ο καλύτερος το NA West είναι.
Έβαλε.
Towards the north, so a lot of these teams have to think rather quickly.
But this is a very dangerous position that Ping has taken up. He's being fully collapsed on by the Middle East. Halad gonna find that initial knock.
Ο Pinks πέθανε από Πακιστανούς. Αυτή είναι καλή Πακιστανή. Hero, FKS. Έχουν πάει σε όλα τα globals αυτοί. Έλα, Ντάφι, τι κάνουμε, brother? Όχι, δεν παίζει κανείς Έλληνας, ρε. Ο μόνος Έλληνας ο οποίος μπορεί, έχει chance, θα πω, είναι ο Ghost, μαγκές.
Θα δώσω λίγο όταν θα πάει Ghost εκεί, θα είναι crazy.
Ναι, όντως είναι crazy. Αλλά τα skills τα έχει, καταλάβες. Τώρα είναι duos όμως, είναι πολύ πιο... Λογικά θα είναι duos τα επόμενα. Κανείς άλλος δεν έχει chance, Γιάννη, από Έλληνες για globals. Το skill level του Ghost δεν το έχει κανείς.
This is so reminiscent of how they handled their Major 3 performance in EU. They were scrappy, they were aggressive, and they were successful for it. And right now, when you're staring at a team, hold that thought though, Chino taken out of the sky. That's the dangers involved with this Flowberry Fizz, and the crash pad still has Pablo and Prodoxy to immediately back him up with that double revive, but there's definitely trouble in the horizon. Teams immediately trying to key them, seeing that that knock was successful.
Yeah, it's kind of an opportune moment. They just chop out the
So bad, crazy.
Crazy They just take that opportunity.
Καλά κάνουνε, bro, πατάνε W, μαλάκα, σαν άνθρωποι. Πόσα kill έχουνε, bro!
Σου γάμισε.
Acorn and Pollo that actually did.
Πόσο kill έχουνε, μαλακές!
Looked like they were trying to rotate in that direction, but they rather quickly to get the revive. No worries there. Malibuka walks. No ping still in sight. There's so many teams here on the southern portion of the map.
Άρρωστο, μαλάκα, το έχουνε τόσα kills.
FKS. An Alex team even beginning to rotate over along with the Non and Resign. The southern portion of the map is looking rather busy.
Oshi has just decided, hey, we are so far south,
Ξέρεις πόσα λεφτά...
να έχεις μάθει να παίζεις middle list και να σε πηγαίνουν σε τέτοια λόμπις.
Ξέρεις μαλάκα πόσα λεφτά βγάζουν αυτοί από τις ομάδες. Δεν καταλαβαίνεις, φίλε.
Αυτοί πώς πρακτισάρουν, ρε μπρο.
Τι να σου πω τώρα.
Ας πούμε, Noble και τέτοια τι παίζουν, έχουν άλλα για εκεί.
Όσοι είναι, ξέρω εγώ, πολύ locked in, έρχονται στο EU, ρε φίλε. Αφού του κάνουν globals, έρχονται EU για να κάνουν practice.
Surprisingly enough, Ark might have just been able to clutch up big time for himself and Salco.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost an understatement. They tried to get the reboot back on the school. He went down again. It's almost no loss because they were able to pick up a huge elimination. It's Malabuka getting a knock on to Nam, but we're going to jump on board for Reed and Curry.
Και ο Reed είναι ψιλομεγάλος κι αυτός, εντάξει. Άντε να είναι 19-20, εκεί.
20
Δεν νομίζω.
Άκουσα από πίσω, μπρο. Καυλωμένη.
Μαλιμπούκα φωνάζουνε, μπρο. Πώς είναι ο focus έτσι, μπρο.
Δεν πειράζει.
Immediately extending his leverage here. Ark scrambling underneath them, trying to see if he can replenish just a little bit of his shields to boot. But Ark, he's got to make a decision. He's got to make it quick. He's trying to see if he can get this right angle peek. Instead, stuck underneath these pre-existing builds. Focus going to create a little bit of space here. Focus off the right fish, trying to get the overhead approach. And Ark, he's still looking to take this fight. He's not backing down. You have to respect the guts to go for it. And Focus still struggling to clean things up. Ark might just be able to turn it. But Ark, he doesn't have a lot of HP.
Όχι, μπρο.
Έτρεμε ο κακομοίρης, μπρο.
Crazy fight.
Very unfortunate circumstances for Ark. He ran out of wild.
Τώρα τα μισάρει όλα και σπίτι τα πετυχαίνει όλα, εντάξει. Δεν μιλάω μαγκές. Δεν μιλάω μαγκές. Σπίτι όλα max damage και στο...
Μπορεί να είναι αγχωμένος, μπρο.
Οκ, το ακούω αυτό.
Είναι πού πειράζει, μαλάκα, δεν σου έχει πάει.
Ναι, όντως, το ακούω ότι έτρεμε.
Είναι human being, bro.
Το ακούω. Μαλάκα, πώς γίνεται να τρώνε pipe down ο Μαλιμπούκα από αυτούς εδώ πέρα, μπρο. Πίτερ από το Cold Ritual, πάλι στα σκατά είναι.
Τι κάνουνε, μπρο.
Sneaky Golem, Ferdoxy, classic.
Over the course of this past year, and now, currently, it could be the surprise that Peterbot does not want to have to deal with Orgold and Ritual. But Pablo, Chino, Ferdoxy, the patience, the discipline, they know exactly when they want to strike.
Ναι ρε Μπάσκελ, πας καλά. Θα κατεβάσουμε ομάδα 300 μαγκές. Ποια mate, μαλάκα, θα πάμε εκεί πέρα 300, θα γίνει σπουτάζω εγώ και λέω ανοίξουμε καπνογόνα, εμείς μαλάκα θα είμαστε 300 άτομα να ανοίξουμε καπνογόνα, μπρο. Μπράβο, Πιτ.
So the number one team from OCE is out of the lobby in game number 2 as Peterbot, Cold and Ritual look
to things up.
Κανείς.
Δεν κάνεις Γάλλος.
Δεν υπάρχει ούτε ένας Γάλλος παίκτης, το πιστεύεις?
Πώς γίνεται αυτό, ρε μπρο?
So many people were putting this team in the top 10, maybe even some inside of the top 5. Yesterday, we were watching their games. They were kind of having fun with some sky bases, but now is the time to really put it all to the test. Zone favoring their side of the map. They just have to travel up a little bit.
Chill, my guess. 300 incoming.
Everybody team toward the south. This is a good chance for them to start to accumulate surge.
Their low ground fragging potential has been what's really.
Ποια mate, μαλάκα, θα έχουμε εκεί πέρα από καπνογόνα τώρα, τα άλλο κόκκινα μαύρα εκεί πέρα από άσπρα όλα.
Even in that first lobby, I know Sven has been cooking up some strats with his Polish boys because we saw Big Star Demas attempting to maintain height at one point.
Ένα τέτοιο ταξίδι πόσο βγαίνει πιο ακριβό, ρε φίλε, είναι η διαμονή. Αυτό μέχρι εκεί. Πόσο να σου βγει, ρε φίλε? Αν πας για 3 μέρες...
Τα εισιτήρια πόσο έχουν για εκεί?
Ένα εκατοστάρι, 150, αν τα κλείσεις από παλιά παλιά, από πριν δηλαδή.
Τι λες, αποκλείεται, ρε μπρο.
Και πιο λίγα,
300 πλάσια, πιστεύω θα έχει.
Τι λες, βρε ηλίθιε?
Ναι ρε μαλάκα, εισιτήριο για να μπεις εκεί να τα δεις.
Α, για να τα δεις, τα globals, οκ. 200 πρέπει νομίζω κάνει αυτό. Τα εισιτήρια εννοούσα του αεροπορικά.
Όχι. Ας βγάλω ταξίδι, ρε φίλε, με φαγητά και θα έκανα χιλιάρικο, πες Max.
Ναι, αυτό, Max, για να είσαι άνετος.
Θες να αξίζει γαμάτα, ρε φίλε, σαν εμπειρία.
Δάμισε το. Ειδικά στο EU, αν είναι έτσι, αξίζει σαν εμπειρία. Στο NA δεν αξίζει.
Γιατί γουστάρουν τόσο Poyo, bro?
Γιατί είναι mate και είναι ο most favorite to win. Τσατάρα μου, όλοι like κάντε. Αυτή τη στιγμή που μιλάμε να φτάσουμε 1000 likes πριν πάμε στο kick. Όποιος δεν έχει kick να πάει να φτιάξει account στο kick. Θα δείξω μετά πώς γίνεται bam bam όταν περιμένουμε για το τρίτο game.
Yeah, they're going to be rotating to a lot of teams for that matter. So that's why they're trying to use that new upgraded launch pad. You mix in the Flowberry Fizz, and you tend to kind of get out of render distance for some teams, and you kind of get a free rotation in. It all depends on who's kind of looking up at a moment. And now we're seeing a peak with Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts of what that southern side of the zone actually looks like. This is what Aegis, Acorn, and Poyo are actually rotating into. So for Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts, they already won game number 1, 9 eliminations.
Όχι, είναι και το hotel 1,5 με 2 κάπα. Σε τι hotel θα πας, ρε, σταματή, για πες. 1,5 κάπα το hotel, για πες.
Για 3 μέρες θα κλείσει, 2 βράδια.
Ναι. Τι 1500 λέει ο άλλος. Πού δεν πας, δεν σταματάρα.
Not going to get too tagged up here by Iyamzo, Higgs, and Clicks. A bit of a missed opportunity. Victor V, though, that's going to finally be a connection there from Iyamzo. The future trying to see if he can pop off here, but it's going to be tough. They don't want to forfeit their position right now, Jacob, to try and
πολύ αύριο ο Clicks, ρε φίλε.
Δεν νομίζω να γίνει τόσο.
Όχι στο game, γενικά.
Ναι, οκ. Το όχι ρε, είναι celebrity, καταλάβες.
Είναι celebrity, όντως αυτό.
Είναι ο man του Fortnite competitive.
Είναι και μόνος που του δώσαν μικρόφωνο, ξέρω εγώ, και είχε άνεση, ρε φίλε. Και ο Savage.
Μαλάκα, 7 κιλο ο Gino.
Νιώσαν crazy.
What are we witnessing out of Frodoxy, Pablo, and Chino?
They're making up for lost time. That last lobby, they had 0 placement points from being wiped off spawn, but 44
Τώρα καταλαβαίνεις ότι είναι η Boobias, ρε.
Absurd, Jacob, and they're not looking to slow down anytime soon. What I'm worried about for them right now is they are taking
Cold Peterbot. Σας κατά είναι, ρε. Πολύ κακό πλάνο. Σας κατά είναι, κατάδες. Δες loot, ναι, δεν υπάρχει chance.
Μου έκανε bara κανένα refresh μόνο.
Everybody is used to seeing Peter Ritual and Cole be super stacked from those divisional cups, but here in the global stage, they just haven't found a home.
Honestly, quite shocking.
Φωνάζουν μια Queasy, Respect.
Ποιοι είναι, με ποιον είναι ο Savage? Ρίζουν και ποιον άλλον.
Τσαπ. Καλός παίχτης. Κάμερα. Έχει πολύ φως.
To go next with Cooper Reed and Curly holding down the high ground though. Peterbot, Ritual, Cold, they're a little bit stuck here. They can't break through. Instead, they're gonna have to deal with Brodoxy pulling up directly behind them. And they just don't have that much material. They've got a completely stacked trio in comparison loadout-wise. And Brodoxy recognizes just how
Δεδομένος τελείως.
Αυτός είναι από τους καλύτερους fighters στο EU.
Instead, focus now from Chino, Pablo, Brodoxy going to be applied directly towards Epic Whale and Paper trying to make a slightly lower rotational.
Θα το τσέκτα μοιάζει λίγο, με μαλλιά.
Pablo, they are completely
Μαλάκα, ναι.
Paper and Epic.
Yeah, just kind of forced them out of the zone.
Για τη μύτη το λες αυτό, ωραία.
Ναι,
But that definitely adds up. Look at Paper, HP absolutely diminished in the blink of an eye because of that rotation. but it might have been worth it. It pulls towards their south with a lot of these teams, but Prodoxy knows they're trying to put down pressure. 10 HP, barely surviving. There's a second too quick beacon. That's
Ritual και ο Peterbot. Πέθανα Pete.
One's gonna go down, Cold's gonna fall as well. Ritual by himself yet again. He's able to get the knock on the Pablo, but there is no chance of him getting the elimination.
Ritual's gonna opt for the trade of revives. He loses Cold entirely.
Πολύ δύσκολα γάμα το σπίτι.
Ένα φάγε τον Πίτερ πολύ αύρα ρε.
Τον έφαγε ρε.
Δεν, ο Τζίνο.
Ναι, ή ο Παύλο Γουίνγκο. Πάει ρε, πάει ο Pete πάει, αυτά τα globals είναι over για αυτόν. Μαλάκες και ο Πόγιο δεν πάει καλά. Πεθαίνουν από Surge. Η U is coming hot.
To start figure out where he's going to get the damage from as a solo. You see in the numbers just kind of tip and top, up and down, 30 to 20. He's trying to figure it out, but every 7 seconds, 25 damage. He lands just a chip shot, but it's enough to get above the damage threshold. But as soon as he starts to try to rotate in, High Ground just focuses him and beans him down to 58 HP.
Exactly what you'd expect to see from Hype, but Agers still found this little pocket, this little bubble of breathing room that is until the surge damage starts to tick away at his life again. Agers just trying to see if he could come up with anything. Sure, they managed to dip a little bit into the placement points, but it's just not enough.
Ναι, Stark, Swizzy, High Ground. Πώς άνοιξες την πόρτα εσύ, bro?
Queasy has one motto. Take height, don't get eliminated. And obviously in the first game, they gave it up because they didn't want to go down. This time is their chance. 400 plus damage above the threshold, and it's continuously counting upward, and they pull the zone. That is the biggest difference from game 1 to game 2. They now have the front side, and they have full control. And Prodoxy trying to fly his way in.
Crazy.
He instantly gets knocked down, and now it's up to Pablo Chino, and they're not immediately trying to drop down low. They're trying to assess the situation.
Δεν το Prodoxy,
They could take it.
Πρέπει πηδήξαμε σε τρελία λοιπόν, ωραία.
Ναι ρε.
Still 3 eliminations too, but 11 elims despite losing Prodoxy. This is still a classic scenario for Pablo and Chino. They might still be able to make it work. They're trying to see if they can figure out, maybe take away a little bit of an advantage play.
Όντως πως ωραίο είναι μπρο, να το βλέπεις εκεί.
But they're not going to allow it. Mustache, Swizzy, and Queasy are the real threat right now, though. They just continue to apply steady pressure to those mid layers. It's a big part of the reason why these teams are just getting so picked up.
Ο Queasy έκανε establish το high ground, τελείωσε.
They made it inside of the zone. They reconnected, making it that much harder for anybody to take him down. Marius, he's now trying to move up. 10 damage above the threshold. At least.
Μαλάκα το EU φαίνεται πολύ πιο τέτοιο, πολύ πιο stuck από το τρίος.
Ahead of the zone. They cannot get too greedy and fall behind.
But nobody can come close to Queasy and Mustache. They're just still overtaking the high ground. King, big time though. Picks eliminated. PH Sin soon to follow though. If he's not careful, he's gonna be forced to pull back here. But King and PH Sin hit by hip. Flowberry Fizz punishing as much shield as they possibly can because they have to keep moving forward, playing back of zone because they have no materials. They're going to be forced to drop another layer. Height's not going to allow them to press forward any longer, and they might just drop into Epic Whale's hands.
Κανάδα πρώτη θέση.
Higgs goes down. Pixie cleans that one up. Queasy gets the knock.
Αλλά αν πάρει M8.
Θα είναι crazy, θα είναι crazy.
They got high ground in this game. 5 eliminations, and once again, they're connecting it. They're reinforcing. They're making sure nobody has a chance to contest them on the high ground.
Everybody underneath them is just a victim at this point, Jacob. Marius, Vanya, and Pixie seemingly undiscovered for the time being. And a little spot of trouble here. Just saw him take a massive chunk of his shield. Pixie now looking to play the medkit from the active zone.
Τι φωνάζουνε ρε, μαγιά γκουλ φωνάζουνε.
Μαγιά γκουλ, κι εγώ μαγιά γκουλ ακούω, μπρο.
And Mustache directly assisting here. Bolt.
Ωραία, Mustache.
Marius gonna be knocked. Marius eliminated essentially. There's no way his teammates are going to be able to get to him.
Yeah, and you're also seeing Kanata fall, Rapid down. Not sure about both, but things are going very quickly, and it gets even more worse because the zone is pulling over that mountain. If you didn't prepare, it's going to be lights out, but Swizzy trying to stop
Όχι,
Circus. He's
βασικά.
gonna be the first one that does go down from Mustache. Queasy, that's a huge signal. That's a huge sign. They're trying to get away from this catalyst on the low ground.
But Queasy and Mustache are the
Ναι,
only
ναι,
ones
το
that
πήραμε.
made it to the mountaintop, and Queasy, it is just
Ο Queasy ξέρει πολλά, ρε.
from above. Queasy continuing to find those eliminations. Pump gonna be dropped. It's only Baka and Yetko.
Μπράβο, ρε Queasy.
Eliminated too. Queasy and Mustache.
Nice. Δείτε εδώ. Ακούστε μαλάκες, ακούστε πως κάνουνε, μπρο. Μαλάκα, τι βλέπουμε, μπρο.
And you're seeing the looks on their face. Now I want to know what they're thinking. Frankie, let us know.
Mustache, you have made the gentlemen more happy than they have ever been here in Leon. What's it like to take the second victory royale here?
I mean, it's nice, feeling nice. I want to win more games. We're going to win more games. And they're going to scream more louder with every game.
I think they will. Queasy, it felt like in game
So
one,
both
you tried to take the high ground maybe a bit too early. You couldn't hold it. This time round, there were no mistakes. How did you make sure the plan went flawlessly?
I mean, it's never too early. Like, even first game, if we got some lucky pulls, we could have had it. 4 pulls we had. And then they pulled over the water and was kind of unlucky we couldn't get it.
Γαμώ το στόμα του, είναι πολύ καλό στο game
We
αυτός
got
εδώ
some
πέρα.
favors in our way and that's it.
You don't need luck to win this, Queasy.
Cette fois, ils n'ont pas laissé passer l'occasion. Il a dit cette fois, ils l'ont pris cette hauteur.
Ah,
Et
mais
ils
je
sont
sais,
allés
là.
au bout. What's the plan now for the next games?
Keep going high and playing our game, that's it.
Le plan de jeu il est clair. On va jouer la hauteur à toutes les parties et on va aller chercher d'autres victoires.
Ο Swizzy δεν μίλησε, βρε γάλε.
Shout out, bravo to Queasy, Mustache and Swizzy.
Μη μίλησε, νομίζω πως να μιλήσει πρώτος.
Δεν μίλησε ο Swizzy. Ο Μερστάχ μίλησε.
The gentlemaid's chant. Do you want to give it one more go?
Are you ready, guys? Gentle! Gentle!
Very good.
Συνέχισε, βρε μαλάκα.
Indeed, one more time though. Gentle, gentle, gentle! We're gonna hear so much more from these crowds.
Μαλάκα, crazy,
These players after this short break do not go anywhere.
Οι 300, bro.
Μαλάκα, οι 300 θα ήταν πολύ πιο δυνατοί, να ξέρεις. Αυτό δεν είναι τίποτα. Λοιπόν, τσατάρα μου, τώρα, πώς πας στο kick για να έρθεις να δεις και εσύ στο kick το stream χωρίς διαφημίσεις κτλ. Παπ. Kick. Βασικά ψάχνεις kick τέλος πάντων, ωραία. Το κανάλι μας είναι αυτό. Chili's SB. Account φτιάχνεις bam bam. Follow το κανάλι και θα είμαστε live εκεί πέρα χωρίς καν διαφημίσεις. Σας περιμένω όλους εκεί πέρα. Kick Chili's SB. Στείλτε το link. Μπείτε τώρα αυτή τη στιγμή που μιλάμε. Σας αγαπώ όλους στο YouTube. Αλλά μπείτε όλοι στο Kick αυτή τη στιγμή που μιλάμε, μάγκες. Right now. Φτιάξτε account στο Kick. Κάντε follow. Πρέπει να φτάσουμε και 10.000 followers στο Kick. Οπότε, follow όλοι. Και πάμε να δούμε τώρα τα επόμενα games των Globals. God bless YouTube. Much love.